Come, I'll show you the sweetest delight in the garden. As a surprise for Adam.
Really?
Come.
All right.
Here.
But this is the one tree in the garden we cannot touch. This is the forbidden fruit.
Did God really say you must not eat from any tree in the garden? Surely not.
We may eat the fruit of any tree in the garden, except for the tree in the middle of the garden. God has forbidden us to either touch or eat the fruit of that tree. For if we do, we shall die.
You believe that nonsense? Of course you will not die. God knows that as soon as you eat it, your eyes will be opened, and you and Adam will be like gods yourselves.
All of us one day will reach the level of the avatars that we have read about in history, the Buddhas and Jesus.
Infinite One's God.
You ancient serpent, you cast your spell upon this planet with your graven images and your wishes to be worshipped. Witches and warlocks flock like Harry Potter fans, waiting for your new age plan to spread across the land. You got the masses dumped down where you want them, convinced that you don't exist, and now you got them atheists. Some even think they're evolving to a godlike level above and beyond human. These Luciferian lies feed on ego and pride. They come disguised as an angel of light, like the original sin and the first deception. The tree in the garden, don't you see the connection? It's the same old lie that he used back then at the beginning of time, at the fall of man. Have we forgotten the truth within the book of Genesis? Ignorant of the nature of sin, so we dismiss written words of God as an irrelevant myth, but then embrace all these new age thoughts of nonsense.
It's not good or bad. There's no God waiting to punish you because you did one or the other.
There is no God in doing. Everyone is God. Welcome to the kingdom of heaven, without judgment, without hate, without testing, without anything.
I'll call my practices and pagan worshiping in fact exists. See through the smoke and the mirrors and the mist. From Atlantis to the Miriam fanatical myths, to the UFO connection with the German SS. Secret society elitists from the east and the west. Illuminati and Masonics, man, it all connects. Satanic worship to the depths we don't want to admit. It's a globalized illusion that we gotta correct. Check the symbols and signs like the all-seeing eye. Read the Bible facts to understand the great design. See the writing on the wall, we're living in end times. And even the elective now bought into the lie. Real Satanists are dressed up in their suits and ties, eating the fruit like these fools who think they are divine. They aren't evolved, they're just blinded by ego and pride, living a lie that disguised like Jekyll and Hyde. Can you deny that these times were all prophesied? Read Matthew 24:24, you decide.
There's no such thing as good or bad. Judging takes time and superficial. There are things that I do that I know they evolve from. There are other things that do not evolve from. It's not good or bad. There's no God waiting to punish you because you did one or the other.
There is no God in doing. Everyone's God. Everyone's God. Everyone's God.
All right. What's going on, everyone? It's Steve JMO. It is the 14th of October in the year 2020. Still not buying it, but what's going on, guys? I got Bobby. I got Jen.
Yeah.
What's up?
Not much.
I ran downstairs and got Fireball.
Nice.
There you go. Run.
I don't even have Fireball.
Run it up. You got like a sippy cup. What the hell is that?
A BPA free bottle with distilled water in it.
Oh, okay. Okay, there you go. There you go.
Since Bobby's drinking Fireball, I might have to join him.
I love Fireball.
I love Fireball.
I never thought there would be a gum flavor from my childhood that could get me drunk that I would like, and there is now.
Yeah.
Big Red.
Big Red's the best gum.
Bringing a huge bottle of Fireball with me to Flattoberfest.
When that's in a couple of days. That's in what, 10 days, right?
Yep. Yeah, the 24th. My son's flying in on the 23rd, and then we're going on the 24th.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
I'm going to do a lot of video. I'm going to try to go live and do everything I can do. I'm going to do it.
There you go. You can go live from your phone too. So if you just want, like, go, what's up, guys? Go around, whatever.
Yeah, I did that down in Florida. That's what I'll probably do.
Yeah, and that place should have good Wi-Fi too. So that's pretty cool. That'll be sick.
As fuck.
Yeah, flat. Yeah.
As fuck.
Oh man, I'm trying to get Ceiling Fan to join.
There he is. He's in the chat.
In the chat, I know. I know what he's doing.
Come on, Ceiling Fan.
Hey, I told you people love you over here.
Is it flat or is it a pear?
What was the best, dude? When that came out, you had the Bon Jovi. Whoa, living on a pear. That was the funniest meme, dude. And I would share it, and no one would like it because no one knew what it meant. So you got Neil deGrasse, your science whiz, telling you that the Earth is the pear shape. It's a little chubby at the bottom. I'll never forget that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But people believe him because he's the authority, and he's got letters after his name.
He's one of those experts,
That's the problem. We give over our free thinking and critical thought and common sense to people with authority. And look where the fuck we're at.
That's what I'm saying.
Well,
the truth is in everyone's face, It's right there for you to see. This guy's not a doctor,
Hey, bro. We're now allowed to have 7,000 people at the Eagles game on Sunday.
Really?
Yay.
And the stadium holds 30,000. You can only have 7.
Or the stadium holds 75.
Oh, it does? Oh, that's the new one, right?
Yeah,
the new one.
So we can have 7 though. Out of not even 20.
How can that place even afford to stay open? You know what I mean?
Any of them? Any of them?
Because we know for sure that all this shit, because the banks own most of the stadiums now. I think it was called couple of bank names there. They're all owned by banks now, and I think that's why the banks bought all the stadiums, because they can afford to keep them open. They're not out for the money. They're going to use these stadiums eventually down the road to deal with all of us.
Let's see. So in Philadelphia,
probably
you got Lincoln Financial Field for the Eagles, the Wells Fargo Center.
Yes.
For the Flyers. Before that, it was our First Union Center.
Yeah.
Before that, it was a Core State Center.
It's like Boston. It's the TD Garden. Then it was before that was the Fleet Center. It
used to be the Boston Garden before Banks.
That was original. That's OG.
Well, just like the Flyers back in the 70s, it was just the Spectrum.
The Spectrum,
That's it. One word, Spectrum.
Or the Vet Stadium, or
Stadium was a good. Oh, I love that. Oh, that place.
Yeah, I went to so many Phillies games.
Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot the Phillies. Citizens Bank.
Of course.
They're all bank owned or a subsidiary thereof. Like it might not be exactly a bank name, but it's somebody that maybe scoops up properties.
Or just another bigger company like FedEx.
Right, like Waste Management Field or something.
Yeah, FedEx Field.
And in the end, they're all owned by banks anyway. So these stadiums are clearly not just revenue streams. They have another purpose, especially if they're going to keep them open like this. I mean, you don't hear on the news, all the stadiums are asking for a bailout. No, because the banks already own them.
I forgot.
I heard the airlines are asking for a bailout, which is utterly fucking ridiculous, because they're still charging the same amount of money for the tickets. It's not like you're getting any discounts. I mean, you can get a discount.
COVID discount.
From Boston to Las Vegas, or from Las Vegas to California, or from Minnesota to fucking Miami, but if it's not Alabama to where I need to go, I'm not getting a deal.
Right. That's ridiculous.
And another thing is there's no straight through flights anymore. Everything's connecting now. It's horrible. What you have to do to find a straight through. I don't do stops. I'm sorry. I just don't do it.
Yeah, I forgot to bring it up to you before, Steve, but the NHL is getting a new team. Not this year, but next year. They're getting the Seattle Kraken.
Kraken.
I mean, to be honest, it's a pretty cool name over the name.
Deep.
Yeah, Seattle Kraken. Sick logo. That logo is what the kids did in the 90s with the 3 lines making the S.
That's what I do with my name.
Yeah.
But peep the name of their arena right there on their 2021 Climate Pledge Arena. It's a brand new arena being built, and it's going to be the first all green arena.
Nice.
Solar powered and yada yada yada.
Nice. Is it gonna look like this fucking pyramid here?
That was the old one they had there.
Oh, nice.
They got upgrade to a clean pyramid.
That was the old arena right there where it's underneath Climate Pledge. That was the old one. Obviously not in use anymore.
Right.
But the point is, it's like it follows a script so much that it's so funny because it's Seattle, right? So when you think of Seattle, what do you think of, like Starbucks and vegan and you know what I'm saying? Like, it just fits this narrative that is so pathetically predictable that it's like, of course they're using like their arena is going to be called Climate Pledge Arena. Like it's just so stupid. That's the stupidest name in the world.
For real.
And the gods unleashed the Kraken when they had enough, so that's nice.
Keep that red eye, bro.
Yeah, you can't beat that with a stick. Poke it out, I assume.
It's just so creepy. Like people like I said, like the name's cool, but I knew they were going to go with Kraken over what they were. Their arena is going to be called Climate Pledge Arena.
What is going on?
I don't know. I hear myself. Oh, was it you? Oh.
Oh, it's Jen.
I scared myself.
I was like, who the hell's talking like Bobby in my room?
Me, bro. No, but what is it? But it's funny because like in 2000, they're going to start playing 2021, 2022, and it's in Seattle. There's another guy who lives in Seattle, right? Bill Gates. Right. So it's just like so fitting that a team in Seattle in 2 years would have a team named the Kraken, which gets released by the gods when angry. And Bill Gates lives there. And he's talking about all this vaccine ID 2020, like almost releasing the Kraken as if like it's the vaccine itself.
It's like they're metaphorically going through mythology, Egypt, whatever you want to call that, the Bible, and they're just doing it all with words and letters and like symbols and signs. It's crazy how it's just nuts, bro. It's like, are these people just like theoretically like going through the motions?
Remember 5 years ago they had Anubis statue floating down the Hudson River on that barge?
Yeah.
I mean, that was crazy. They were putting him all over the place, and then they had that Arch of Baal going around.
Yeah.
Like New York, Chicago, right? Washington, D.C.
And it seems like that's what they're doing. They're metaphorically playing it out and manifesting.
He made his rounds in 2017 or 2018.
The statues?
Yeah.
Yeah. And they won't take them down.
No, because it's what they do in Christian communities to make them submit.
Yeah, because they say that, freedom of religion and Satanism is a religion, and they have just as much right to be there and have their shit there as well, which lends credibility to the thought that all this was put in place for a reason so they can use all this against us like racism. Even the start of this country and what it was supposed to be, a hodgepodge of, all these different cultures. They knew what they could do with that. I mean, that's just like, a disaster waiting to happen any minute. Not saying that it's a disaster if it ran its natural course, but putting that together and letting that fester and do, feeding the fires and stuff and creating false narratives for people to fall into and believe and stuff, they can hear that monkey any other way they want.
Yeah, I mean, like racism, I I mean, like I'm gonna say that people are gonna go, oh, but in the grand scheme, it doesn't exist. It never did. It's just an idea that people taught and people just clung to it like it was facts. And like all these people now who are in the groups like KKK or the Aryan Nation, all their beliefs are an idea that some rich people in a room came up with to make us hate each other. That's all it is.
Imagine that, you know.
Well, if you put four babies in a room, one's white, one's black, one's Latino of some kind, one's Asian of some kind, like doesn't matter where you're from, you're just like
they're good to go.
Yeah,
they're not gonna go, oh, I can't play with her. Like, no, they're like, yo, piss me like He-Man, bro.
Right.
Racism is that whole thing's taught, and that's what this whole thing is like, and that's why in our country it's stated so grayly of freedom of religion. So anything that's a religion that's like recognized as a religion has the same rights as other religions. So why do you think that is? It's not like they said freedom of Christianity, freedom of They said freedom of religion. So you can, like, Beyonce has a religion, the Queen of the Church of Bay.
I have a religion. My religion is freedom to breathe fresh air anytime I want. And this mask shit goes against my fucking religious beliefs.
Facts on that. But it's still like, it's just like all these people now are just, even to this day with this whole mask thing and vaccine thing and all that, it's all based off ideas people say out loud.
Suggestion.
No fact.
It's horrible, dude. I just did a whole video about it earlier. I was just so frustrated sitting in my car. It's a beautiful day today. One of these beautiful fall days where it's like 75, almost 80 degrees, breezy out, not a chemtrail or a cloud to be seen anywhere.
Same. It was a nice day today.
Except for my white son.
You got people out there, nobody around, mowing their lawn with their fucking masks on. Every fucking person who gets out of their car to go in the store has their and it's the full frontal face mask now. It's not the medical ones we were seeing in the beginning. It's like they've all gotten the update mask. The update.
Yeah, pop culture took it over.
And this is what Trends does. And now every time you go into any kind of store, any YouTube channel, even ones that maybe aren't as truther channels as like we are, but say it's like something that talks about current bitcoins or whatever, it doesn't even matter. Maybe even like somebody like the Dollar Vigilante, but not the Dollar Vigilante, because I don't think he does this, but they'll be selling t-shirts and now they sell masks. You know, it's here to stay. It's not going anywhere. We're 7 months into this fucking ball of wax, and it's just getting bigger and bigger. And even though they'll give these little glimmers of like, oh, it's going to get better. Look, this store opened up and we're doing this. Now we have to have 7,000 people at the stadium. So we're getting there. You know, it's little by little, but we're getting there. But actually, you're not getting fucking nowhere.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
I asked somebody the other day who was a full-blown COVID believer. And I said, put your biases aside and your beliefs aside. I said, if tomorrow, if everything went back to exactly how it was before the pause, as I call it, would you notice any difference? And they were like, well, no, because, you know, it's not like we're this, that. I'm like, okay, so you don't see that's a problem? That like, if tomorrow we decide, okay, we're going to go back to the way it was before the pause, snap, and yet, you know, no one's dying in the middle of the street, no one's dropping dead, oh, you read off all these things. That's not a problem to you that we could be living exactly how we were with before all this shit, and now that we're living like this, we're living like this. Well, not us, but we're following all the guidelines, but yet people are still dying by the thousands. That makes no sense.
Yeah,
This doesn't add up.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're good. That's all I had to say. It just doesn't add up. You know, nothing does.
Well, I made a video earlier. I talked to a guy that I know at Walmart, and he's like, I had COVID back in July. And I'm like, how do you know you had COVID? And he said, well, I had one of these surveys come up for their work surveys. Do you have any of these symptoms, particular symptoms? And he said he had one or two of the symptoms. He was feeling feverish or whatever. And then he went and got tested and found out he had it. And all he really had was like this upper respiratory kind of thing. And, you know, felt kind of shitty for a few days. And I'm like, so you had a cold. You had a sinus infection. And he's like, well, yeah, but, you know, I had COVID, you know, because that's what the name is. It's COVID. It's not the flu. It's not the cold. It's COVID. And I'm like, well, what did your doctor give you? And he says, "Oh, is Z packing some antihistamine stuff for his nasal pass?"
All you need.
That's all. Yeah, nothing was wrong. He didn't die. Clearly, he's here living amongst us. Okay, and
Really? I think that's like, does this dude like lean conservative? I feel like the conservative pack, they want COVID so they can get over it. Be like, we got COVID. Look at us.
I said to him, I said, "Do you know the tests are 80% false positives?" He's like, "Well, the place where I went to was said that their tests are 87% accurate." I'm like, okay, so either way, okay, you have a chance of it being wrong, right? 87% is not 100% or even 99%.
That's not a good number.
But the fact that you know, we have to trust these numbers that they're giving us. Any numbers that come from any of these pharmaceutical companies, industrial companies that produce all these pharmaceuticals for them, the testing that's done, which, I mean, come on. So I'm like, basically, you just had a flu. You know, like, people get sick. Like, and even this guy I was talking to in Dollar Tree, he had to sneeze, but he had a mask on. He didn't even know what to do. So he's like looking around, and he tries to lean over. He's like, "Achoo!" And he kind of left his mask over a little. And I thought, well, this is weird. He's trying not to get anybody sick, but he don't want to sneeze in his own mask. He can't let it out because then he'd be scorned by everybody, right? So he kind of did it like half thing, right? He's like looking at me, and I'm staring at him. And he's like, "Whoa, I didn't want to sneeze in my mask," and all this stuff like that. And I'm like, "Yeah, because you got allergies. You don't want to do that." And he's like, "Yeah, God forbid you even cough today. It's like the worst thing you could do." And I'm like, just thinking to myself, he's actually right, because I have fall allergies now. I'm sniffling, I'm clearing my throat, I'm coughing up some stuff once in a while. And I know it's all from my allergies, but people look at you differently now, and they're like, you know, it's unbelievable.
It's crazy, yo. We're like, the new normal sucks, you know. I'll be blatant with that. I made a video called that, and they took it down. Oh, it was harsh name, like guidelines. Awesome. Yeah. It just doesn't make sense. Like,
new normal.
And like, you would think like a generation who was raised on The Simpsons, South Park, and Family Guy, like, why is everyone so soft? Why are they so easy to just like listen to the man? Like, none of this offends you. None of this offends your human right, you know, to put a, you know, the mask, you gotta suppress your face, you hide yourself, you know, eyes without a face, you know. And it was so weird, Jen, because the other day I literally sat down for like 10 seconds just to see what the score of the game was, and they were going to a timeout break, and then, you know, the commentator stopped talking, and the screen, like the score started like appearing on the screen. They had a little background, not the song, but just the beat to it, you know, just like the guitaring, and I was like, where do I know that from? And right when it like ended, I was like, dude, these motherfuckers are crazy. They're playing Eyes Without a Face. I'm like, they don't care.
People. And they don't even know they're being mocked. You know, they don't even know
that's the thing.
Hear the lyrics in their head. They don't even put it together that they're eyes without a face.
Right. I'm talking about the elites who put that on the script, you know? I'm like, they don't give a shit, dude. I'm like, are you kidding me?
They're like, let's have a little game, and while you're at it.
Yeah. Imagine that.
I picture them sitting back laughing at us like that all the time.
Right. Placing bets. They ain't gonna buy it. Oh, you watch this.
You know, get the people out here, set the stage up. Part 2's coming right now, and boy, do we got some shit lined up for you people.
It's crazy.
If I took you up in a plane and I said, "Yo, we're gonna go skydiving," you're like, "All right, we're getting to this plane. We're all suited up. We're at the door." And you're like, "This is safe, right?" And I said, "You have an 87% chance of living." Are you jumping out that door?
With the luck that I have, no.
Bobby.
I mean, I would, because I'm just nuts.
Sometimes I'd be like, "Fuck it, let's do it."
So, yeah, that's how I am. But like, any rational people will go 87% chance of living. I'm cool, cuz that's got to be in the high 90s for me to think about jumping.
The question you asked before the plane ever leaves the ground.
Yeah.
You just hit that. Get that A- mark, 90, 92, nothing too heavy, you know, but like
I gotta give credit where credit's due. I got that from old Bill Burr stand-up. He was talking about divorce. He's like, "Why do people keep getting divorced? The stats say at least 50% of you are going to get a divorce. You know, why get married? I mean, because half of you get divorced." He's like, "If I took you up into an airplane and said, let's jump out," and he said, "What's the survival rate?" And I said 50-50. you wouldn't jump out of the plane. So why the hell are you standing in line to get married for if half of you are going to get divorced?
Yeah, people dive into.
I think that's bad too, because that happened over a whole generation. Because my generation started it, but generation before me and on, marriage was like, even if like there was marital problems, they were adults about it and they stuck through.
Stuck right through it, dude. Now it's
side by side. But now my generation started it, like because my generation went from nothing into at 13 years old. Right into puberty, right into technology, AOL, chat rooms, and instant messaging. Like cheating was at a whole time high.
I remember Latchkey.
We carry the torch, Bobby. We carry the torch, but keep going.
Do you remember Latchkey kids?
No.
All right. So these were kids because both parents had to start working. Back in the 80s, going into the 90s, the economy was bad, and that's when they broke up the family, and now mom and dad had to work. And they were called latchkey kids or key kids or something, where you'd come home from school like I was. That's how it was for me. I had a house key. I'd come home from school. Nobody was there. It was just me. And, I had chores to do and stuff before my mom got home from work. But a lot of kids got educated by the TV after that point. Like the TV was the new babysitter and stuff.
Yeah.
And, they were watching, and then cable comes in and everything like that. And then, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, like you said, latchkey kids. Like I heard, to me, it was always taught to me as the TV generation.
Yeah.
Same thing, I guess.
Yeah.
The TV was the parent.
The TV is the worst thing ever, 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 ever. And if I could take away one thing from this world, go back in time and take one fucking thing away from this world that will never ever manifest, it'll be the TV and the radio.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I go back in time, I take out the royalty.
Well, yeah, them too. But I'm just saying,
stop that bloodline. Real.
This was. I mean, looking back now, and the
garden. I don't know about you
guys. Through the media is just, it's unbelievable.
You go back and slap the apple out of Eve. Are you bitch crazy?
I would just make. I would avert the snake's attention. I don't know what would happen.
I'd just kill the
I'd
snake.
probably get effed, but
I just walk up and be like, he'd be like, "What's up, Eve?" And then a slap.
Yeah.
Head cut off and just blood on my face. I'd be like, "What up? I'm one of God's angels. What the fuck I tell you about those apples?"
Right. Like, you're the mean angel. Yeah, it happened. I'm on vacation right now.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Let's say I'm on vacation. All right. He's let me back. Wink, wink. No, he's not.
I always thought of that. Like, okay, if you had a time machine, if you can go back in time one time, of course. Obviously, as you're younger and you make up this scenario in your head, it's really superficial. It's like, I would go back in time and tell myself yesterday's lotto numbers. Like, okay, dickhead.
Queen of Swords remembers latchkey kids.
Yeah, latchkey kids. Like the way it was taught to me was they called them the TV generation because the kids in the late '80s would come home and there'd be no home but the TV.
Yeah,
same thing, just two different words. But if I can go back in time. Like I said, that bloodline with me would hit a brick fucking wall. I would take today's armory and go back to like the 1700s or whatever and just say hello.
Shut the fuck up.
Like, what up, bro? Click, 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 click. Like,
click, click, boom, baby.
Like, I would go back and win. I would, like, if the war had, like, I would go back and win wars a lot faster. This is stupid. Bam.
Yo, could you imagine the three of us? All tactical gear and shit, get in our time machine, go back in fucking time and go like fucking, commando on these people, bust into their houses, get up there and be like, you Adam Weishaupt? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like
Jason Bourne shit.
Bro, just because that bloodline wouldn't survive if I had a time machine. It wouldn't survive. I wouldn't have a job. I wouldn't be a dad because all my time would just be going back in time. And erasing that bloodline one by one.
I put the link to my latest video in the chat, and I'm talking to that guy at Walmart, and I had a little rant in the car because I haven't ranted in the car in a while, and I couldn't hold it in anymore. So,
our rants are good. Car rants are good.
I have some of the best shit in the car.
That's how I got famous on YouTube, kind of. It was my car rants. A lot of my videos before I started live streaming were always done in my car if I wasn't putting together a different type of video, with pictures and all.
Right. Yeah. That's all good.
I talk in my car a lot. Got some good stuff in there.
Dude, yeah. Honestly, I'll be talking to myself.
When I was a independent wrestler, driving to shows with my dad, like sleep deprived, 4 a.m, driving from Philly to Carolina or something, and like I was like, Dad, who am I wrestling on Saturday? He'd be like, oh, you're so and so, and then like I would just start cutting this promo in the middle of the car, and like I would get done after like 2 minutes. My dad's like, I hope you fucking remember that, because that was the best promo I've heard. So like that, like all my promos came up in the car drive to the location for the match. In the car is where I get some of my best songs have been written, like melody wise, in the car, just like humming a tune. Like, what is that?
Huh, you just reminded me of something because you said music. What is with this fucking ODD shit and him wearing a mask all the time and like?
I thought that's who you were talking about earlier. I was like, he's got kind of a big channel, so I thought you were just like really making fun of him. But yeah, what's up with that crap? He's like, just do it if you need to, or it's always been a medical staple point. I don't know. I was like, this mother, I don't know. I just kept scrolling. I was like, he'll wake up, hopefully.
How can he not know that this is fucking a charade?
He does, dude. He does. He's just, I don't know. People are just, okay. I'm not going to, you know what? Fuck it. I'm speaking for everyone. People are doing things right now that are well outside of their nature, and they know it. And why they're doing it right now, when quite possibly we're in like the 3rd page of Revelation, I don't know. That blows my mind. That keeps me up at night. The decisions that people are making here now today. People have years of progress. And right now, it's like everyone's taking 8 steps back. Mm-hmm. And I'm just standing still. You're like, what's going on? What is going on right now? Yeah. What is happening?
100%, Steve.
Have you guys been noticing that? Or like personal friends or just people around? They're everyone's just going nuts, dude. I don't like it.
I don't like it. People tell me, fuck the mask while they're wearing a mask and keep it on. And I'm like, what's wrong with you? How could you not go that one extra little step and take it the fuck off and throw it in the trash can?
Right. I'm talking like on a much bigger level than that. I'm talking community wise. Like you could see, you might know someone like from a job or someone who's been doing good for a while. Ask them how they're doing right now. Because something's going on with people, especially like people who, don't know what's happening right now. People who are unaware. People are probably afraid right now. And like I say, when you're afraid, and there's states of chaos and just more fear around you, you're going to make irrational decisions. I'm guilty of it. We're all guilty of it. It sucks. But it's part of being human. But fortunately now, we understand why all this chaos is happening. So when it happens, it only strikes me for a matter of 12 minutes, perhaps, then I'm over it. I'm like, okay, on to the next, we got to carry on because people get lost in that sauce too. And that's how you get caught in a cycle. If you get just struck down with something in real life, just carry on, live linearly, It's crazy. Yeah. Where are we going with that? I don't know either. I don't know, but I got something for you, Jen. This is gonna. Okay. I'm sure you've seen this before, but you not. Where is it? Seen this before?
No.
No, I haven't. Let me hide this son of a gun. Look at that thing. That's in Germany.
Dude, that's crazy.
Zoom in dead middle of the picture, please.
Right here.
Up above it.
Right here.
Up above it.
Up here.
A little bit lower.
Right here.
Is that a face, my dude?
Oh, I see it. I see the 2 eyes and a nose. Yeah. Looking off to the side.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I see it.
Right here?
Cone head, too. Like, that would be his head would be like kind of like a penis helmet.
A little bit more to the right.
That's the hat.
Yeah, that's the hat.
Come down a little. You're at the eyes. Over a little bit more. Right. There's the eye. And the other eye's on the other side of the nose.
And nose in between.
Yeah, nothing.
It's looking to the side. It's not looking dead on.
Yeah. I saw that before you even zoomed in.
I don't see shit, but
It definitely looks like vitrification took place here in this area for sure.
oh, right here, you're saying?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that's my boy.
The hat on
there.
his head.
I Ben saw him. Chill, all right. Yeah, this is in Germany. I don't know how to say that, but something bridge.
Bastille Bridge in German.
So I looked it up, and we have some more cool pictures. You know, like look at this shit, like all like white. Like, what's up with that? Like
It's
what?
so crazy. Now, this is a road they use now, or is it just some kind of thing left over from something else?
Must be left over because it's definitely not a road.
Okay, they're walking.
Definitely not a road.
Wow.
Is it? Wait, is it in Germany or is it in Switzerland?
It's in Germany. Look at this natural rock formation right here, though.
Oh, yeah.
One picture said in Switzerland, and I was very confused. In Saxon, Switzerland.
Switzerland and Germany border each other.
I think so. I mean, I'm not a fucking map.
Come
It's in
on.
the same vicinity. I
I
don't know.
believe they do. I believe they do.
I think they do. Wait, so can you walk through the countries that way?
Maybe.
That'd be kind of sick.
That's what I'm thinking right now.
Great Wall of China is 7,000 miles or something.
How about the Great Wall of Pakistan, dude?
Right? Or India. There's one in India.
Yeah.
I don't even know where Switzerland
In
is.
India? I don't know.
Nowhere near Germany. Oh, here it is, actually. I'm retarded. Bad little. Yeah. That motherfucker probably like right here or something. That's crazy.
Huh.
Maybe one side's Germany, one side Switzerland. That's pretty cool.
The Bastille Bridge.
Sure. Yeah.
Salabu!
Going nuts, dude. It's like beer fest.
Because you're one that means he shoots, he scores in French.
For real?
Yeah, I heard that a lot playing hockey in Quebec in my K&M tournaments. It's a Salabu! It's only
Look at all that brickwork.
Wow. Yeah.
It's just decimated on top. And they had to put something in here to fool everyone. You know, like, oh, yeah, we carved that name in there. Like, oh, for real?
Is that a cross in there?
Yeah. Yeah. On an upside down Bible, it looks. So that's nice. That's good.
No,
yeah,
this bridge is on the far east side. So it's actually like, it's actually closer to like Czechia.
Really? What's this dude walking in Switzerland for?
Dude, I just Googled the bridge and I went to Google Maps and it's right outside of Dresden, Germany.
Oh, so way up here.
Ah.
Nice.
Yeah, right there. Yeah, Dresden. Yeah. So there's Czechia.
It's really old up in there, dude. That's where like.
Oh yeah, that's old as shit.
Old world.
How many times are these countries gonna get split, dude? First it was the Czechoslovakia, then it was Czech Republic. Now it's Czechia, and Slovak. Jesus.
When did Kazakhstan become this big?
Dude, fuck that. When did Mongolia become that big? Are you kidding me?
Bro.
The United States landmass is bigger than China now.
Look at the size of fucking China, and they say they need more fucking room.
I believe that what I just said was correct. I remember that was a Mandela effect, and I was like,
look at it. Look at that guy. Huge. Bitch. Look at that. That shit's small.
What?
China goes all the way up there too now?
I don't know.
Wow.
No, I'm sorry. It's Russia, Antarctica, Canada, China, and the United States. But China is only bigger by the United States by like, if I squint and put my fingers together real close, this much.
Really?
Yeah, they're almost identical in size. But I was always told China was so huge. But now with Mongolia taking up 25% of it.
Nice.
Because Mongolia was a small country.
Look at that. You got the Bahamas, bro. Parallel with almost Miami. You know?
And you know what's crazy? When I was staying in Key West, where's the Keys at? Is it, where are we at over here?
Keys are all effed up, dude.
Are they over here to the right here? Or they're right here? Key West, yeah. When I was standing, because my dad got married down there, and this Cuban lady was like, "Do you see those lights?" I was like, "Yeah." Off the water, I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "That's Havana." I was like, "Whoa, that's crazy." And then but that was before I was even awake, and I should have asked, how the hell am I seeing lights from Havana? From Key West. How far is Key West from Havana? It ain't 2 miles.
Looks like it's like, I don't know. Looks like it's far away. I would say like
It's 90 miles, guys.
wow.
Havana to Key West. It's 90 miles.
Yeah, and I can see the lights from Havana from Key West. Nothing crazy. Nothing to see.
Because when you go to Key West, the most southern point, which I got married there, they tell you that Havana is 90 miles away.
They didn't tell me that shit. What the hell? You got the educational marriage package?
No, I got married there.
My dad got married there.
When you go to Key West, you know they have all these little nooks and tidbits of information all over the place.
I must have been too drunk because I don't remember shit. But because my dad got married in Key West, well, remarried in Key West, and I was standing outside the hotel room at the looking at the ocean, and the maid is Cuban. She's from Havana, and she's like, "Do you see those lights?" I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "That's Havana," and I was like, "Oh, that's sick." But I never once thought, how the hell am I seeing that?
Yeah, right. See, that's the thing. Flat Earth's always been there. Our common sense and our logic has left because we were indoctrinated and conditioned to see things a certain way. It's a perception deception.
And I should have asked because the reflection was coming off the water and not the sky. Which is even more unsettling when you think back. Because like I said, that was like 2011. So that was like before I was awake. Like I was only into like government lies, everybody. Everything they say is a lie. 9/11 was an inside job.
So do you remember when I was talking about the cemeteries and them not adding up to the amount of people that we have and we should be seeing funerals all day, every day, all the stuff, and the graveyards should be overloaded, but yet there's still plenty of room and there's not a lot of them. Well, there's this video I sent you, Steve, and this guy talks about the 6 million to 10 million bones underneath Paris and what century they're from, which would be the 1700s, and that where did these 6 million people come from? Because there was not 6 million people around. And then he goes and he looks at other places that have these type of catacombs with bones in it and stuff, and how the population numbers don't add up to what they're telling us the amount of people that were around at these particular times.
Okay. Did something about 15-minute mark or something?
Yeah, we'll see it from here.
All right. Let me make it big.
He's searching cemeteries and he's found a list, and they go back 8,500 years for the oldest, 3,000 years, 3,000 years, 3,000 years, and then nothing until sort of the 1,800 thousands. So there's nothing really in there for a couple of thousand years. And he talks about Paris and the catacombs. And this is a map of the catacombs. Like there's miles and miles. And we're told there's 6 million skeletons in there. 6 million. Now the labyrinth of tunnels is 200 miles long. So he says, where could 6 million skeletons come from by 1780? Because the story is that they were in cemeteries. He has a picture down here of the Holy Innocent Cemetery, and then Paris got flooded and everything, and they had to rebuild stuff, and so they basically dug them all out and moved them to the underground into the catacombs. This is a very good picture too. Look how built up it is, and these people, I don't know, these buildings don't look as big as they normally do compared to the people. Just an observation. But what he talks about, it's down here. These are the catacombs. And then he's 6 million skeletons. Where did they come from? And he goes through the populations of Paris every sort of 50 years or so. And if you add all these up, it's not even, it's under 3 million. So it's not even enough people from the year 29 BC, which is when it was founded. He thinks that because that's the best date he could find when it was founded, and up to 1750 when they built them, and it's not even half of this number. So where did they all come from? So he's suggesting, is this, were all these people from the mud flood, were they killed in some catastrophe? millions of them, and they sort of had to hide it all.
Yep.
Because also, look at this. It's like 29,000, 20,000, 100,000, 160, 228, 300. Then it's like losses from Black Plague, wars, Renaissance recovery, losses from religious wars. So 210, then it doubles. Spectacular recovery. So what was really going on here? And that's a very interesting point, isn't it? Like, where did 6 million skeletons come from? And this is not the only place. This is what the...
That's crazy. Just real quick, like, did people make the catacombs or did something else?
Their story is that these bones had to be moved and they made the catacombs, or they put the bones in there. I don't know who made the catacombs. That's what you're asking.
Right. I'm like theorizing. What do you think? I don't care what these people think.
Well, I think that they knew that there was tunnels under there because they're buildings. We know that. So of course there's going to be tunnels, and they had to put these bones somewhere. So they're like, hey, let's stick them down here. And we'll say we built these tunnels to put the bones in. It kind of solves two problems.
I guess that's a lot of work, though. That's crazy. All right, play again.
Catacombs. This is what they do. It's very necromantic, as you can see. Got skulls, on display. It looks like there's some kind of letter or shape they're made into. Very weird.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, dude.
Yeah, and well, first off, they're all skulls and long bones. So where the rest of the ribs and other parts are, nobody knows. There's no hands or anything. They're just skulls and long bones. Your long bones are your femurs. What I'm saying is these skulls don't look like they have any bone behind the eye sockets. You can kind of see the blackness in there, and that's kind of like a residue kind of thing. Well, one of them maybe looks like it has it, but the other ones don't.
Right. That's still crazy. That's just nuts. like, oh, let's go move all these bones, you know?
And
Like,
perfectly position them and make them this way. I mean, it's
what I'm saying.
I don't know who put them there, but or who these people even are. But their cover story never seems to add up, no matter what it is. Geology, catacombs, whatever.
I suggest that they're not people that made this. That's what I think.
Maybe some kind of demonic energies that dwell down there in these caverns put them all like that. Like
I'm thinking more or less
Pretty
something.
sure,
Flash.
wasn't that proven? If I'm not mistaken, wasn't that proven that the rituals were taking place in these things?
I mean, that's a lot of bones to stack up and organize and put in, because these is not just what you're seeing the front of it. This wall of bones, just this tiny little sliver, goes back quite some way. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
they're solid structures, pretty much.
200 miles of fucking catacombs filled with this shit. It's nuts.
Imagine that.
It's like if this was say like a real thing where like they just put these bones of dead people, it wouldn't be this pretty. And if you know what I'm saying, where it's so organized.
Exactly, and it's throughout the whole thing. It's not like they only threw the rest in there somewhere down the road.
no, these aren't bones. This is actually a rare rock he made only in France, because it looks so natural, because it's like perfectly made into walls.
These are all the bones.
Oh, sorry.
You're good. That's all I was saying. Like, it just...
Yeah, if those skulls weren't there, they could probably say something weird like the bones and stuff, but...
And why put them in that shape? It almost looks like a picture.
I do not know. Whoever planned this out and put these bones here knew that they were going to call it catacombs and say, people stacked them here like this. I don't know.
That's why I don't think it was people. I think it was one of them things or whatever, someone dead. I don't think that movie was too far off that I showed you.
Yeah, dude.
I don't think that movie was too far off, dude. Like that, I don't know.
But clearly,
these people have weird ways of eluding death. You know what I'm saying? Like you see people come out in the timeline over and over and over again that are almost identical. Like what Ceiling Fan Man was showing us some crazy shit the other day. I'm like, oh, do these people just not die?
There's a whole population of people underneath Paris, and that's just one place. And they try to tell us, oh, it's because of the Black Plague, Black Death, wars, and all this stuff like that. And so I mean, that they all had the idea to take all these bones and stack them the way they did, and good. Who knows what they did with the rest of the bones? Because this is only 2 pieces to the skeletal structure: long bones and fucking skulls, and that's bizarre in itself. And what did they do with the rest of the parts? Nobody seems to know what happened to
Those
the
are
rest
probably
of
the
the
2
bones.
strongest bones we have. Well, if there was like an event here, those are the 2 strongest like bones I think we have. So I feel like maybe that's the only parts of the us that, not us, but them that made it. Physically,
Maybe.
they all look burnt as fuck. Like you don't see that.
Yeah, they don't look too white or anything. They
Nah,
definitely went through some sort of something, and when you see the injuries on the skulls and stuff.
that's what. Yeah, I've taken a tour, like virtual tour of this place. Like, yeah, some of them skulls don't even look half human. That's why I think that I don't. I think this place has always been there, and this is just one of the dwellings of
You know what?
someone who fell down from upstairs.
We don't know what bones are behind these bones. You see what I'm saying? You're seeing a facade right there of something that's put together. Don't touch it. Don't take it down. It's some sort of a memorial. But what's behind all these bones? Minotaur bones or dogman bones? Or, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think that they're hiding a lot of stuff in these catacombs that they otherwise would not have been able to have hidden so well. Like it's hidden in plain sight pretty much.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's limited. It's off to the public for the most part. But yeah. I mean, it's probably for the public's good, in my opinion. I'd lock this fucker down, but yeah. Like, holy mackerel.
And he comments that they all look about the same age. They don't look like they're from a span of over hundreds of different years, in age from each other. And we have this. This was buried.
See, real quick, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't. Like,
It's a
people
wall
didn't
of
make
skulls.
this.
It's all skulls. That's insane.
Like, yeah, people didn't make this, dude. Like, someone who collects skulls, something, an entity, perhaps, who is worshipped by a cross with no Christ on it.
Like Jeepers Creepers.
Forget that.
Why is there a triangle?
Dude, that's what I'm saying, bro. That's what I'm saying. Like, this is just no bueno, if you know what I'm saying.
My guess would be for this place was that these tunnels were obviously there before, and that it was just a ritualistic site. That's all.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just, because like that would make more sense of why, like in these cases, like the numbers for the catacombs at least, why it doesn't add up, because a lot of them wouldn't be reported.
It's like the Hellfire Caves in England, brother.
Oh wow, yeah.
There's a lot of people
Think
that
about
were
it.
missing that weren't a part of this. Because
Yeah, look at the ceiling.
Yeah.
It's brick.
It's brick, dude.
You're telling me that wasn't there before?
Look at the floor. Look at the floor, man. And then
This is OG.
it's just me. That could be a podium there, but it doesn't look like a podium to me. It looks like a small altar where you would
It
sacrifice
is.
something
Yes, it is.
small, like a child,
Perhaps.
a baby.
In front of the candles. Yeah. With the cross with nothing on it. That means no good, you
It's
know?
all cross too. The long
That's what
one.
I'm saying.
That's Bobby. It's the long cross.
Mhm.
Hey, you don't mess around with that stuff. Something built
And
this
now-
for this, you know?
Yeah, the long cross and the bent cross, or they have the Pope carries that staff with Jesus.
Nah, I've
bent
never
cross.
liked that, even as a kid.
Yeah.
He's a bad guy. All of
Oh, yeah.
them. Especially the last one. Like, this guy's bad, but I mean, the last dude just looked bad. Like, he had the eyes indented and he was rough, bro.
All right, he's going to tell us about this place here. I think he reads it. This is it says Bone Quarry or something. I don't know.
I'm not sure how to say that. Is it Brno? Brno ossuary is an underground ossuary in Brno in the Czech Republic. It was rediscovered in 2001 in the historical center of the city, partially under the Church of St. James. It is
Under a
estimated that the ossuary holds the remains of over 50,000 people, which makes it the second largest ossuary in Europe after the catacombs of Paris. As you can see, these are all skulls and bones. All right, skull and bones.
Imagine that. That's what I'm saying,
Again,
bro.
another one.
Look at
Wow.
There's bones everywhere.
this. It's a death cult.
And these ones are just sort of piled up.
Unbelievable.
Ossuary, Putum ossuary.
Oh, imagine falling on
An
a pile of
ossuary
bones.
is what they're calling these places where you just sort of have the bones of the dead people.
Nice.
And it's just so weird that they make patterns out of them. Yeah. Like it's weird.
Skull and
What?
bones. Look at those guys, skull and crossbones.
Postcard, which comes from the Burns Archives Death Focus collection. What? 3 soldiers standing over a 30-foot deep pile of skeletons
30
at
foot
Column
deep,
Cemetery.
guys.
At the time, the price of a grave at the cemetery.
Like what?
30 feet deep of skeletons.
If it's not one big club, then why is it worldwide? You're talking things in Germany and in London and France and San Francisco.
Everywhere, man.
Motherfucker. Right, bro. Right. And
All
they're all,
doing the same
look at the
thing.
way they be holding this shit, yo. Come on.
And it's 3 different ways to do it.
That's sketchy,
Skull in the
dude.
middle, skull on top of it, the bones, and then your regular skull and crossbones.
And that's not planned.
No, right. It's almost as if it's like the see no evil.
Yeah. With the monkeys and
I'm
shit.
going to drop the link for this in the chat while you're playing it.
Okay. It's just nuts. 30 feet.
Which was founded 22 years earlier, was $10 for 5 years. If after this period the family or the deceased didn't pay up the remains as they buried, the skeleton will be dug up. That is freaky. Greetings. That's what? Cuba.
Nice.
Oh my god. Okay, so yeah, I've just found that a really interesting little bit to tie in with the mud flood and proof that it's proof that something happened. All these numbers, they don't add up. All the stories they give us don't add up.
Ooh.
It's all fiction.
Right.
Look at these massive buildings. They don't know. They won't tell us who built them. They probably don't. I don't know if they know. It wasn't us. Look at this stuff. We're not taught this in school.
Oh.
And this was a painting in the 1600s. This was in the Renaissance. Why aren't we taught this stuff?
You think people just paint stuff like that? Or you think this guy was sitting on a stump for a week? I'll go with the latter.
He ate some mushrooms.
Yeah. He was hanging out with Steve JMO, being an asshole. Yeah.
There is a reason. So there you go, guys. Bit of proof for the mud flood. Some nice buildings and a bit of, what might have actually happened. So I hope you enjoyed that one. Thank you for spending some time with me. Please like, share, and subscribe. And if you click the more button, you'll find in the description my Facebook page,
Wow.
Instagram.
That's nuts.
Look at that.
Just completely decimated. Okay, I got a quick picture to share. We got 76 live. What up, peeps?
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, so that just really reminded me of the whole cemetery thing that I was talking about. He's talking about it like kind of on the opposite side. I'm talking about it on modern times, that even still the numbers aren't adding up to the population at hand and the number of cemeteries.
Right, you ain't lying there. If people should really be looking at the contents of cemeteries, especially the old ones, all over the country, all over the world. The same exact shit's in there. For what reason? I can't exactly tell you, but it's either A to me or B. A would be they're all just part of a worldwide cult, and that's what kind of headstones they have. Or B, those are just building antennas.
Yeah.
I don't know. Look at this. What is this? Capitol Hill? You got a whole another pillar down here. No big deal.
Yeah, there's a lot going on underneath Capitol Hill. And, just because we see that top part, they utilize these bottom areas. They have, the underground bunkers underneath the White House and Capitol building. Yeah, it probably goes down like 10, 20 fucking stories.
You ain't
Why
lying.
do they always do that fucking shot? Go back to that last one. That last picture you showed.
I got you, bud.
I'm so tired of this shot. Why is this always a shot they do when they're building something or they're doing like?
It's that 9/11.
Oh, is it?
thing.
Like
Yeah,
the American flag on the beam. It's just like
Nice.
you always do it. It's just like,
that
golly.
started with 9/11, and it looks like there's an 11 there on the beam too. That's kind of creepy. I don't know if it's 11 or not, but there's a 9 lurking around somewhere.
That's nuts.
There's probably 9 dudes down here. 1, 2, 3, 4,
Look
5,
at the
6, 7,
fucking
8, 9.
smell.
There is 9 dudes down there.
The scale of that building and how
Yeah.
it's just
Well,
incredible.
you know where obviously but like where they're standing was the original.
Yeah.
Well, one of the original floors. That was and then that's what the building used to be. Then we got a car. Okay, if it flooded up, all right, now we're up. No, new Capitol. We're here.
Yeah.
It's the same. I remember as a kid going to see Ben Franklin's house, and we had to look into the ground to see it. I'm like, why are we looking into the ground to see Ben Franklin's house? What the fuck? Where the hell does this dude live? Then that's when I realized we paved over it.
Yeah, and then we went to Betsy Ross's house and the Liberty Bell. I remember all those field trips.
Oh, the Betsy Ross house was the worst. Not because nothing on Betsy. I'm sure she was a great gal. But sitting there as like a like a 5th grader, learning about a flag was
Yeah, and they showed like her
riveting.
sewing area and her chair she sat in and stuff. And I had to do a whole project on
So
that
did
whole
I.
thing. The cobblestone street still there and everything.
It was funny. Back when I was still asleep as a kid, my favorite president was Abraham Lincoln.
Uh-huh.
And so was my dad. So like when I had to do a report on Abraham Lincoln, my dad still had his report from school, and I just copy and pasted his report.
Can't beat that. Can't beat that.
Well, because he was propped up, as you know, he freed the slaves. He was the greatest white man of all time. But then when you learn, even if you learn history bad, you realize that even if that war was real, that the slaves were a chip to throw in late to help win because they were losing, as the other history says. But it's just like, what if there wasn't a war?
Right.
I mean,
You ain't
like,
lying.
I wasn't there to observe it. Like, isn't that one of the rules of science? Don't you have to observe it for it to be a fact? Isn't that what science say? Then, like, that's another thing that blows my mind. Is like all these things. It's like, oh, the Big Bang happened. It's like, oh, were you there to see it? What happened? Let me know what. Let me know how it went. How
The
can it
Big
be?
Bang, it's a theory. It's a theory.
That's barely a theory.
Yeah.
Oh, the missing link. Have we found it yet?
No.
Because guess what, boys and gals? There is no link, and it ain't missing. It's just another one of those things like, oh, we'll find that missing link one day to prove that we came from chimps. Nah.
People that base their whole careers on this missing link. There's people who base their whole careers on space. Things that don't exist. Whole careers and curriculums in colleges are set up for you to learn something that's nothing but bullshit and lies.
Yeah, because like, even if you read the books, it's all it is telling you of what they think happened. There's no like especially scientists today, like the quote scientists, not like the ones you see on TV, but the ones who think they're actually going to make a change in the world. They're not learning anything. They're just memorizing what someone has already said before them. That's not learning. They're not discovering anything new.
Yeah.
Like, what do they do all?
There's no original thought there. And if you do have an original thought and you start asking questions, the academic quackademias, they shut you down right away. As a matter of fact, there's been many people who've come forward and said dating is all wrong. Things are not what you're telling us. And I have the literal proof to prove it. And they literally blacklist you and just, wipe you from the face of whatever career it is that you're in. Like if it's an archaeology or the decoding of different languages, ancient languages and stuff like that, or just the bones, dating of bones and stuff like that. Many people have gotten ostracized from their fields of speciality because of that.
You know what's crazy too? That's two things you just brought up. Like, so the Big Bang, right? After I was awake, I always say, like, people go, "Oh, this is the Big Bang, Bob." I'm like, okay. How did an explosion happen in the vacuum of space?
In the vacuum of space, right? And where did space come from anyway?
People are just like looking at me. I'm like, what's more likely? And this is the best part. This is why I get people fucked up, especially the ones.
The sun is a burning ball of flame, okay, in space.
Right. And that's my thing too, where it's like, and like people I smoke with, I fuck them up with this question all the time. Their heads, I can see them explode. I'm like. I say, how did an explosion happen in space? And they look at me. I'm like, what's more feasible? an explosion happened in the space or a God creating the earth? And they look at me and their heads explode because the most logical is that someone created the earth over an explosion happening in a vacuum. Like that's more logical. Obviously, somebody placing something somewhere over an explosion in a vacuum that's the person placing something somewhere is more logical, but their brains won't allow them to go there. So like they become like this. They're like glitching. They're like stuck. They just stare off into a room for 5 minutes. It's fucking great.
Yeah. Again, they trust the authorities, peer-reviewed papers, and all the shit that they put in textbooks and stuff like that. It's coming from people who already know, already figured it the fuck out. You don't need to figure it out. You just need to remember it and remember whose theory that was. And when the test comes, you put it all down on paper, and then you go to the next level. And it's all stuff that meant nothing. If you look back on all the crap we learned in grade school and stuff, besides reading and writing and arithmetic, all of it's bullshit.
It's crazy. They teach us all this crap we don't need to know and just, spit people out into the world expecting them to know what to do.
Look at these timelines that they taught us from BC, 5000 BC, up to like the 1200s, the 1100s, the Dark Ages, the Renaissance, all this shit that probably never even fucking happened. And we had to be tested on it and maybe like stressed over it because our parents were shit if we failed the test. All this homework and all shit when we could have been out to having fun, being creative and stuff. We were stunted with that, learning all this fucking bullshit that does nothing but weigh you down and press you down when they're trying to tell you it's elevating you and you're going to the next grade, and then you get to graduate and then go out into the world and try to make a living off the crap that they just taught you, which is meaningless and has no value whatsoever, but they'll make you pay for it. Unless you go to government funded curriculum school, then you just have to get all the vaccinations, and you're going to pay for it one way or another.
Facts. I'm buzzed now. So I forgot the second thing. So the second thing was after the Big Bang happens, they say that the planets start swirling and spinning and at a rate. Like, what do you mean? There's like nothing like how is something going to be shot out of something from a vacuum and then spin endlessly? It just endlessly spin. Like it's not ever going to slow down and stop somewhere. It's just going to endlessly spin. What keeps it spinning?
Yeah.
Why is it spinning at all?
You're throwing words like inertia and all this stuff like that. Like, if something starts spinning in space, it will just continuously spin until something stops. It's never going to stop spinning. It'll never gain in momentum or lose momentum. It'll just perpetually spin. Right now, if you watch the movie Gravity, they fake space 1,000 times better than NASA in Hollywood films, right? Which would be stupid. You would think that they would keep their quality lower, so NASA has something that looks more real than. I mean, the movie Gravity, if you buy the whole space thing, it looks so real. It was like crazy.
I think that was their tagline. It looks like it was shot in space.
Literally, and that really tells you something. And then you have the emotional attachments to these things, the patriotism to these things, the space races, and us going where no man's ever gone before because there ain't nowhere to fucking go, guys.
It's false pride.
It stunts you from having original thoughts, because the original thoughts that you are going to have are going to be based on that lie. Your imagination will run wild with dreams of space and planets and other worlds when that shit doesn't even exist. When your imagination could be imagining original thoughts and things that are really going on this flat plane that we're at and figuring that all out, your imagination's hijacked and steered in this false, it's a fallacy, wizardry, sorcery, magic from Hollywood.
Dude, like the more buzz I get, every time I think about the Big Bang, I just start laughing. It's the funniest shit in the whole world.
So sick. I mean, they have a show called The Big Bang Theory. They have shows called Third Planet from the Third Rock from the whatever. Yeah, I mean, they're shoving space in your face, into your imagination every chance they get. That's the only thing that they've ever done is your imagination is the only thing that's ever gone to space. There is no space.
The Earth is on an axis.
Yeah. What I tell people is, like, if space and Big Bang and evolution was real, why would us human beings lose our tail? Because that would really benefit people.
Why would we stop evolving? Did the one chimp go, no, Dave, we have enough humans now?
Right.
Well, they
Right.
try to tell
Where's
us.
all the bodies?
They tried to tell us that we went from hairy caveman with this thick brow ridge and kind of like slumped over and stuff with a club to upright, hairless. So we're evolving. Well, they're trying to say we're evolving into our modern ways. Like, say, we're getting more civilized and easier in life that we can put clothes on now. So we don't need all this hair. We could just put clothes on. Why would that even be a thing? Like, you know what I'm saying? The storyline of the evolution of man and why we lost what we lost as far as where our hair is located on our bodies and stuff, the things that protect our bodies. That's why you have hair in certain locations.
Yeah, like something as stupid, it is hair, but something as stupid as eyelashes. That's for protection from your eyes.
Yeah.
You know, like everything we have in our bodies for a reason.
Yeah.
It's not just there because
including that foreskin that they cut off the second you're fucking born.
yeah, that helps for
God put that shit there for a reason. I don't know. I'm not a guy, but if he said if it's good enough for God, I mean, who the hell are we to cut it off, right? I don't know.
I didn't have a say.
We have bacterial, antibacterial.
You're grabbing my shit before I can even speak.
Running water in the world. How does people get an infection? But that's what they'll tell you. Oh, you can't have a foreskin. You get an infection. You think God is imperfect? That's like saying God's imperfect in his form.
Well, that's it. That's like the overpopulation lie.
Well, because you couldn't clean it, though, right? You couldn't just clean it.
Of course not.
Yeah, if you have foreskin, well, you're fucked. If anything gets in there, you couldn't just pull it back and clean it. Nah, you're just dead now. You got fucking red dick.
You're dead. You're dead.
I want to know what they do with all those fucking foreskins because they go somewhere. Somebody do something with it.
It's like wonton soup. They put a little.
I know. It's like those Jewish moyers who do it for the Jewish babies. I think that they like fillet that shit up and chew on it for a while or something.
I'm just like it's like gum for them. They're just like, oh.
Yeah, they're like, what you got? Got some foreskin.
Foreskin, dude. Like just.
And then they suck the penis after they cut it because you know it's bleeding. You know how you suck your finger if it's bleeding or something? Well, these fucker in front of everybody will suck this fucking penis of a baby. I can't even believe it.
I didn't have any say in that.
And it's okay. It's all good.
It's all good.
Yeah.
It's just so it really is the oddest thing, like the shit we do. Like, and we just said, no, that's fine. No, that's fine.
It's tradition.
That's another word. That's another word too. That's like tradition and fucking heritage, and it's these fake words that don't mean anything. They really don't mean anything, and yet people grasp them. It's like the racism. Like it's not racism is not real. It's just an ideal. Someone spat it out, and people had cling to it. They base their whole lives on it. Heritage and tradition is another one. All tradition is peer pressure from dead people. That's all it is. We are peer pressured to doing the things the same way because someone else before us did it. So now I got to do it like him.
That's like taxes. Taxes. Everybody pays taxes because the people before them paid taxes. You have to pay taxes. It's mandatory. It's a law. No, it's not a law. There is no law. It's voluntary. No, it's mandatory. It's required. These are the words, and it's like, no, there's no law saying you have to pay taxes. Well, how are they going to pay for the roads, Jen? How are they going to do that? Look at all the fucking sale tax and liquor tax and all these other fucking taxes. Look at your tax on your plane ticket the next time you book one. You're going to see a 9/11 fucking Patriot Act tax on there for all the fucking security they have now. They have a $9 fucking tax on your ticket, including all the other fucking taxes. And the next thing you're going to tax is fresh air on that fucking plane. You want fresh air? You're going to have to pay a la carte for that. It's going to be an extra $30. Oh, you want to pick your seat? Well, that's going to be an extra $30. You can't pick your seat. You can't just walk on a plane and say, I'm going to sit here. No, you got to pay for that.
It's like, real quick, the Roman says, don't women prefer them cut? No, women prefer them to make them come. It's another thing too. It's like when you go to a concert and there's no seats on the floor, but they can't sell you space, so they have to charge you for a seat that you don't have. Mm-hmm. It's like
they call it general admission.
Yeah, it's like, bro, how the fuck? Like, how do people come up with this shit? Like, oh, I'm gonna charge someone for a space they're standing in.
Yeah,
and they're like, oh, you're in.
Nobody sits when you're on the floor anyway. Everybody's standing.
Well, my whole point is just like, there's no feasible way why my ticket should cost more than your ticket if we're standing on the same floor, but I'm closer to the stage than you. It makes no sense.
You know what else don't make any sense? You buy a brand new fucking car, you go to get tags for it, they're going to charge you out the wazoo the first year. And then the second year, it gets a little less. Then the third year, it gets a little less. And then 6-7 years down the road, you're back to a normal price, like $60 or something. But if it's a brand new fucking car, which why would that make any fucking difference? Please tell me. I have no clue. But they won't. Oh, yeah, it's because it's a new car. And who made this fucking stupid rule up? I didn't vote this in. And then you're going to tax me on this. And I got 10% sales tax here, guys. So if I have to pay $250 for tags or $300 and something because I have 2 brand new cars, then I get taxed on that too.
Or like, damn it, I had it.
State taxes varies from state to state.
Yeah,
so
well,
tax and all this crap, liquor tax.
If you rent a property, you have to pay for renter's insurance. So you have to pay for your bills on top of your rent, on top of like rent. It's just like, why? Like what the fuck? I'm taking all the risk here and renting, where you can evict me almost at any time for anything that you deem possible. Like I don't own this place, and yet I take all the risk in this deal. But that's how it's same thing with a car. You take all the risk of buying a brand new car. And as soon as you drive, as soon as you drive it off the lot, that it's down what 10%, 20% of value.
Oh yeah.
Like 25.
I went around the corner and now this $30,000 car became 15.
Imagine that.
You know what?
Crazy. And then they load you up with the insurance and all this other bull crap, and they make it almost impossible. Like if you don't, unless you live at home off your parents' debit card, like you really can't afford afford a car unless you have 40-hour-a-week job. And that, depending what state you live in, who even knows, because some states are still doing like $7 for minimum wage. That's ridiculous, but whatever.
Yeah, right now.
Some of them want 15, and I'm like, oh, so the dude at McDonald's who can't even scratch his dick right is gonna, he gets 15 an hour. Nice.
The minimum wage in Florida now is $14 an hour, and that's in Fort Myers. I don't know if it's all over Florida or not, but
that's ridiculous.
My son, he doesn't work for less than $19 an hour. He did have to switch jobs, and he went down to 16 for a minute, and then he got another job, and he was back up to $19 an hour. And his girlfriend is a manager at a one of these supermarkets over in the bakery section. She runs that whole thing, and she gets paid really good too. But they're still just barely getting by. What we would consider them getting paid good is because of the cost of living in Florida. It's so crazy. I don't even know how they even do it.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous everywhere. Everywhere has their own little nicks and niches to get you lost. Let's say it's cheap to live where you are. It's probably an overload of drug problems. So, you'll be spending your money at the bar, the club, or, with some dude behind an alley grabbing a bag. Who knows?
How about New York or LA, where it's like $2,000 a month to rent, and you're not even in a good spot.
Yeah.
It's just because you live in fucking LA.
Yeah,
or New York. That's ridiculous.
For the title. It's for the title. People get lost with that materialistic shit. I want to live on a mountain. I want to live by the beach or whatever, We'll do anything I can to go live in the valley of LA, or not in the valley, but in the hills of LA. I'll do anything. And people get lost in that. And they lose themselves, unfortunately, It's terrible. Like what's good? What is left? Why would you even want to lose your soul to earthly possessions? That blows my mind. People get lost in that sauce, to the dollar bill.
Yeah.
The dollar bill.
Yep. Having good credit, obeying the law.
Yeah.
Obeying the authority. I mean, they play the game and they don't even realize they're playing a game.
What I'm saying.
The ones like us who have a hard time getting through life and always struggling and stuff, because we understand that this is a game, but we're not willing to do what it takes to be at their level. Because to do what it takes to be at their level, you're chipping away at your soul. You're not looking at anything that's pertinent. Your focus is on your career and
selling yourself.
Stuff. Huh?
You're selling yourself.
Yeah.
Sucks. But keep going.
Yeah, I mean, my husband right now is in transition because his job's just so ridiculous over there, and where I'm at right now in life, I don't have any money to fall back on. So switching jobs, it's like, okay, we got the rent paid and the car's paid, and we have a few bills due, but I can put them off a little. and hopefully this new job you get paid within the next 2 weeks. You know what I mean? But after that, there's nothing going on here. and that kind of stuff. It's like we've always, since 2008, when the economy crashed last time, we've been living in survival mode.
There's nothing going on anywhere, Jen.
It is. And then they want it this way because you can't afford to go have fun anyway. They're not going to let you go have any kind of fun. They're going to tell you now what fun is. Fun's sitting in front of your TV watching a football game with nobody in the stands or whatever, or watching a virtual game of some sort.
It's interesting because like ever since I've woken up to like the truths of this reality, like so many negative financial things have happened. Positive things that, you know, are not of this earth have happened, but many negative financial situations.
It happens to all of us, Steve. I mentioned
how?
that.
How do they know?
How do they know? The Matrix hones in on us somehow. And I mean, we went, before we woke up in 2005, going into 2006, we had shit tons of money coming in the house. I had a jewelry box this fucking high filled with gold from head to toe. I had a $3,000 wedding set on. We both had cars, fucking nice cars and shit. And then, boom, we wake up to 9/11. Not even 6 months later, everything went to shit. He lost his job. I wasn't working. They repossessed our car. We had never had a repossession. We couldn't pay rent. Our second stream of income just went kaput as well. And I wound up selling everything. The last thing I had to sell to make it to where I am sitting here now in Alabama was my wedding ring. And you ain't broke until you got to sell your fucking wedding set. And so, you know, it had to go.
It makes you stronger in the long run.
It does, because there's a falling away of materialism. And it always seemed like, even though I didn't have what I wanted anymore, my wants shifted, but yet I've always had what I needed, even if it was only $20 left at the end of everything that we paid to get us through to the next week to get paid. And only being able to go to work and to home because gas was so expensive back then. We still had everything we needed, though. There wasn't anything extra, but that was okay too. You know what I'm saying? Because you fall away from that stuff. You realize all those things that you wanted, you really don't need. But you'll always have what you need.
Yeah, well, it's really easy when you rig the game. So it'd be like, okay, for the next 15 years, I want you to prop up everyone buying gold and things like this. And then after 15 years, the next 15 years, we're going to sell it all because a crisis will happen. So when they rig it against you, it's easy for them to know what's going to happen because they're the ones controlling everything. 9/11 happened. That was the gas went up because now, you know, cause it's coming from that country over there with those people. So now it has to be more expensive because and it's just like bullshit. But they rigged the game against you. They set it up that way. They set you up for failure before you walk right into the trap without even knowing, oh, this is great. And they're like, yeah, right this way, a little closer, and gotcha.
Mm-hmm. My husband had this one job when we got here, and we just learned all this stuff. And we were just meeting people around here because we're in a new state and everything. And he talked his way right out of a fucking job. And I'm like, what happened? He's like, well, you know, I started talking about 9/11 and the boss didn't like that. And I'm like, don't mention this shit at work anymore, because it was like, you know, we couldn't afford to not have work. We're trying to get ahead. We're trying to climb out of this fucking hole.
Right.
Put it back down. I'm like, you just talked yourself right out of a fucking job that paid really good and stuff.
Especially back then too.
That happened to us, yeah.
Back because it was still kind of fresh. People were, that was like almost how it is now with COVID. Like if you start talking bad about COVID, you'll lose family members over it. I've lost family members. I've known people who have lost like brothers and sisters over 9/11 because one half was like shit was inside job, shit was fake, shit was this, and the other half going, how fucking dare you? People lost their life, and they stopped talking to siblings and parents over that, and now it's happening again. So yeah, it's like people. I don't get it either. People get so attached to these events that happen.
Yeah, it's emotional attachments. Yes, exactly.
It's so weird.
No, it's because it's done on purpose. It's a psyop. First off, these are false flag events. Look at all the school shootings and all the emotional attachments with that. The Sandy Hook stuff and everything.
Yeah.
And then you have the 9/11 stuff, the wars, all this different stuff, the space races and everything. It's if it's a patriotic connection or it's a sympathy connection or something to that effect. It's still getting its hooks in you in one way or another, and then you know that solidifies the belief in it because you have that emotional attachment.
Yeah, it's like who wouldn't feel bad for kids getting shot? you would have to be.
I would if it was real.
Well, that's my point. So like,
I'm not saying kids don't get shot. One got shot right in front of my house, Philly, which probably
1,000%
out of
kids get
Philly.
shot.
But
that's why they use kids, because when they really want to get something done, and people are kind of like, nah, that's our right as Americans, Second Amendment, all that stuff. You start killing kids, and all of a sudden, a lot of people will sway real quick.
Oh yeah.
And that's what they do, and it's so disgusting that they use these kids.
They know these tactics. It's emotional war 101. The art of war for emotions and stuff. They have our whole brain mapped out. They know us better than we know ourselves, and they're playing us like a violin through the media, the magic media.
Yeah, they got us, dude. And it all honestly, it's all wrapped around the dollar bill, and it just reminds me of this. This verse in the Bible in Mark 8, I think it's verse 36. It goes, "For what shall it profit a man if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul?"
Right.
Hey,
come on.
I'm so glad you brought that up. I was listening to NF on the way home today, and he has a song called "Oh Lord," and he's in the very first verse. He says, "When I die, don't worry about my gravestone. Don't worry about my ashes. Put those shit in a trash bag, because I'm just worried about my soul."
That's crazy. That's what I tell people. I'm like, just bury me behind the shed or something, or I don't care. Don't even tell anyone,
Yeah, don't cry. Yeah. I'm not gone. And like we were talking about that before we went live. I said, when it comes to like those Satanist fucks out there that like kill kids, drink blood, all the crazy shit.
Yeah.
They're chasing immortality on Earth to live in the material world, but the catch-22 to it is you are immortal, because when you die, you don't die. You live on forever in eternity. Yeah.
Well,
but it's so crazy.
They're lying to us about. They're lying to us about death and what death actually is, because all we know it is as the death of our physical body.
Yep.
But nobody seems to know for sure what comes after death. They have us, because the uncertainty, the not knowing, is where the fear lies, and they know the secrets to all this stuff, and they need to keep us trapped in that mindset and same as trapped in the mindset of the globe, not knowing that the earth is flat and this is a realm that we're in, and perceiving the location of God being right above us.
How about hiding the creator? Put all that aside. That's where I'm focused right now.
That's what space is. They put space between us and the creator. He's not very far away at all. He's within us, but he's right up there too.
Yeah. No, 1,000%. And that's where technology comes in too. A lot of people are a lot of straight. I called them the straights, but no, like fuck chemtrails, bro. Talk about technology, bro, like your phone, because you're always looking down.
No, bro.
You're always looking.
But I mean, if they blanket the sky too, and you look up, it's like,
no, you're 1,000% right.
I always thought that, Steve, because listen, if you fly in a plane 35,000 feet, it's clear fucking blue skies. Below, it's murky fucking mess. The people on the ground are definitely not seeing something that's going on upstairs. That's what I'm thinking, because what are they hiding? Is it the creator can look down and see whatever he wants. We look up, what do we see? Murky fucking nasty skies.
Yeah, well, no, like you guys are 1,000% right. But like, because when I was a kid, even before like cell phones were a thing, I spent my nights and days staring up into either the stars or into the sky, looking at the fucking clouds and all that type of shit. I was always looking up. So like to believe God was easier back then, because I could just look up and see how beautiful the sky was and how perfectly lit it was and the trees and things like that. Now people look straight down at their phones. They don't look up. All the power lines above your head, all the 5G EMF into your brain, they're putting more and more cushion between us and the creator, whether it be chemtrails, EMFs, 5G, radiation. You're looking down at your cell phone. It's almost like a weight to look up anymore, to look up straight into the sky.
It's an effort. It's an effort for these people. And they have that new AT&T 5G, or no, I'm sorry, the Apple, the 5G compatible iPhone 12. I heard they're handing those out for free. Some like T-Mobile's or 18. I don't know.
Yeah, T-Mobile. I have T-Mobile. If you have a phone and you own it for 6 months, or if you paid half of it off, you can jump for free to the next phone.
That's what I'm saying. It's the 5G ones. When have they ever offered us anything for free? Ever? Nothing until the last year or so. That's how you know something's happening, something's going on.
Yeah, and that's the thing that really concerns me the most, and I think that's why it's so easy for people to not believe in God, and it's because like all that metal they put into the sky in the chemtrails and all that EMF and all that.
I can feel it.
5G.
I can feel it on those days.
So
it's hard to pray sometimes. I won't lie to you.
But the metal that are in that sky, like the aluminum, the barium, whatever they're putting up there, it like you have no idea what it's doing to you.
No idea.
You know
I really don't. I just know it's not good.
I mean, think about the people that were here before all that stuff and how in tune they were with like the Hindu religion and things like that. They were so in tune with, and even like the natives, the Aztecs, like the mind, all those people, they were so in tune with their body. They were so in tune with it that they actually made a whole religion based around it. Hello?
What the fuck is that?
No, this is this Bible app I got. It tells me to pray every now and again.
All right, let's take 5. Steve's got to pray.
Yeah, it scared the hell. I don't like that thing. It scares the heck out of me.
Point to the east. Bow down.
It's one of those scarier ones.
The bell tolls. Isn't that Metallica? When the bell tolls or something?
The bells always scares me.
For the bell tolls.
Or when the bell tolls, yeah.
Happened the other day at work. I'm just cooking. I hear these bells in my back pocket. I just jump up.
I just got the Our Daily Bread app, and every like the month is already preloaded, so you just go to click the day and it has a Bible verse for every day. It's so good.
I check mine out every morning in the parking lot.
That's what I do.
I just continue my prayer from there. I'm like, that was a good start, Then we'll put a couple other here and there's, and
But that's why, like I was talking about earlier too, like we have to, like not we, but like me as individually. But if you wanted to, but people, they really need to start getting back in tune with their bodies and spirituality. Like they need it. Like I don't care what you do, even if you just meditate for like an hour, if you can find the time. You like when you after meditation, especially if you listen to some really good frequencies and tones, coming out of that, you almost feel like you've been cleansed of like these earthly things. Like you almost feel like you could feel yourself vibrating almost because of how it's been risen and all that stuff. It's amazing.
Look, rising your frequency is always a good thing because we have spiritual parasites on us all the time. And I've been listening to a lot of JCK, which is a new girl out who's talking about all this stuff. But I've heard many people talk about it. That they attach to your heart chakra and all your emotions and stuff, and a lot of the aches and pains and emotional pains that we have stem from these parasites, and they like to keep you at that low negative thought pattern because they can keep you. And they're down there all over us. If we had this second sight like these people have who can see this stuff, they see these things all over us. They're like, you got a parasite on you. It's connected to your heart, or it's connected to your kidneys and stuff, and it's feeding off of you. Or if people hold like malice and vengeful and regret and all these things, they can even get you thinking about those situations that you used to be in to keep you trapped in those mindsets and those emotions and feeling the pain all over again. That kind of stuff, so they can feed off of you.
Yeah, and don't be afraid of it either. Like I was talking to you guys beforehand, how everybody, like for certain things, they like it's always a negative thing they look at it with. Like nothing you do can ever be good. Like whether it's getting in contact with like if someone says, "Oh, I'm going to go meditate," that's that new age non-Christian BS. You got to read your Bible. It's like I'm like, but what if me meditating actually puts me closer to God because I'm clearing my mind, I'm clearing my body of all the harmful stuff that's around me every day that I don't want around me, and I'm like raising my frequency. Like, what if that's a good thing, not a bad thing?
Yeah. It depends on what you're meditating about and what you're looking for to get out of this meditation and where you want your spirit to be as far as bringing your spirit up. Rising the frequency up of your spirit. A lot of people say, "Oh, my spirits are down." Well, that's because they're feeling sad or they're hurt or some tragedy took place or stuff like that. And like I always told my son, because he had a problem, he started to have a problem with depression. I would say, "Look, it's up to you how long you stay wallowing in this. You just deal with it and let it go. Don't dwell on the past. The past is in the past. You're past it now. Leave it there, you know?
As George Carlin would say, stop living in the past. It's already back there.
Yeah, it's way back there.
It's way back there.
And time heals all wounds. I've experienced that many times. I mean, yeah, when things first happen, the sting really hurts. And, you know, as time goes on, I think back on certain situations and I think to myself how it doesn't even affect me now. Even though, you know, it's not like like my mother, she thinks about a situation that happened to her in the past. She will relive those emotions. And because she's never let it go. You know what I mean? She's never healed from it. My wounds are healed. I can sit here and tell you 10 different ways I've been screwed over, and fucked with by this world. And it doesn't affect me now. You know, I don't hold that on me. It's not some baggage, some cross that I'm carrying. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Yeah. No. Yeah. You can't disagree with that. We've all been there, you know. It's just like you said, it's up to the individual to get themselves up and out of the turmoil, you know? Mm-hmm. Like me 3-4 years ago, if, you know, I don't know, let's say negative things happen, you know, it'll take you weeks, months to get over it, you know? Now, you know, you get up, you get over it, you're good to go, you know? Read a little scripture, you know, listen to a little this, go on a car drive, smoke a doobie, you know, you're good to go.
Well,
it's all about counteracting because I was talking to someone today. I don't know who was it. May have been you, Bobby. Where I was like, they expect these reactions out of us. Like whether it's the universe or individuals or the powers that be, they expect these reactions out of us that are gonna, you know, not benefit us. You know, benefit them. You know, because they thrive off that problem reaction solution. If we don't give them that reaction, but just, you know, do our own thing, they can't, you know, people can't give off that negative vibe. You know, we won't give off that negative vibe that they want us to. And that's half the battle, at least, you know.
It takes two people to argue. If you take one person away, the person's going to sit there and argue with themselves. You know what I mean? So I choose my battles. I don't engage with these people because I know what kind of state I will get into. And it will fester with. That's why I had that earlier today in the car. If I didn't get that out of my system and I would just carry that with me the rest of the day, I would just be not even worth sitting here talking to you guys.
Yeah, I tolerate questions, not debates, you know. You know, like if you have questions for me, like that's all good. Like I don't really have many questions for anyone here on earth, you know. Like that's just I'm not like, oh, I've seen it all, but like, you know, I've heard about it. Cuz like what else hasn't been brought to our attention here in 2020, you know? Like nothing can really hide that isn't, you know, an Illuminati blacklist project or something, you know, the stuff that's going to happen in the next couple of months. Obviously, we haven't seen that stuff yet. No one has, none of the general public, but we're much more than the general public. We're that strong, like, you know, 2%, but we're scattered. And that's the part that really stinks is that we're scattered. 2% together is a lot stronger than 2% scattered.
Yeah, well, I feel like, and I felt like this when the Mandela effect was in full swing, and I feel like this even more now. I feel like we're in those times where they said, let us go down and confound their language, the Tower of Babel stuff and everything. It was like, oh, look what they can do. Look how far they've come. Look what they're going to be able to do. We better get down there and confound their language, right? Well, now it's like, we're all speaking the same language, yet we're all saying it like it's perceived in so many different ways. Like with me in the gas station with those two other people, that's 3 people in one small area having 3 different conversations, 3 levels of this different conversation. And none of us could ever seem to get on the same page, even though we're all talking English. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like we're in those times where it's not so much our language is confounded, but the information is confounded. Our minds are confounded now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's hard not to step on your tail nowadays, you know, because check this out. WHO comes out and says that lockdowns and whatever are a little too extreme, you know? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But what have we found out since the beginning of this and since the time they've said that? There's no doctors on the board of WHO. So no crap that they're the ones that come out and say that, because they're already getting set up to take the fall, because we've already called them out. And I feel like maybe we were loud enough, we made enough noise, or enough memes going around. Jesus, you couldn't miss those. And, maybe perhaps WHO is getting ready to take a fall. It's getting ready to take a fall because,
well, they have to have
the powers that be need the lockdowns, and they're telling you no lockdowns. So I shared it. I shared my little 2 cents on that, but I was also like, in caps, I'm like, remember this when they lock down again. Remember this, like if you don't remember anything, remember this, they just told you lockdowns are extreme, and then they're going to back them again, even though they're not doctors. But in case they get called out, shit, they're not doctors. So, it was all bull crap anyways. So lockdowns are okay because WHO aren't doctors. You feel what I'm saying? Because they'll just flip the script like that. That's they always have the scapegoat. You can't have a story now about the scapegoat.
Yeah, this is a movie we're watching. We've gotten to the climax, and now we're like heading towards the end of the show here, and they're going to have their fall guys and stuff like that. Want to mention CDC is a for-profit organization. Just putting that out there, but
privately owned.
Yeah, privately owned. I don't even know where I was going, guys. It's so muffed up.
Apparently, lockdowns are reoccurring in Northern Ireland this Friday. So,
the masks. How is it that they all? I'm not in with the trends or the latest propaganda that's being pushed. I did get a commercial on one of the shows that I had watched where it was some kind of senator or somebody running for something. Let's get through this together. Let's just make sure you keep your mask on and see your doctor if you even have the slightest of a temperature and all this stuff like that. Help us get through this together quickly. And, and I'm just like, this propaganda is over the top. You're going to find it in doctor's office, dentist's office, everywhere you go, Walmart, Target. It doesn't matter where you're at. It's going to be all over your phone, your Facebook, your social media. They have their own commercials for this stuff. And then God only knows what they're pumping on TV, because I don't watch that. I don't know what those commercials are like now. I mean, first it used to be all prescription medication. The last time I watched TV, which was back before around 2005, this is when every commercial was a medical commercial with all their side effects. I don't know what they pump now on commercials, but the masks are all the same now. It's like they've all gotten this update, maybe even a mask mailed to them at their doorstep, and they all have the same exact mask now, except they're different colors and stuff. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's all about the trends. Everyone wants to fit in. No one wants to be that odd person out. Like
so
they got the Reebok mask. Like, I'm gonna go get the Under Armour one, because it's $10 more. That's where these people are at. It's just like shoes.
This place sucks.
It's horrible.
It
Satan
does.
sucks.
I would rather.
I think we chose to be here. What happened?
Sucks,
I would rather talk to the dead.
Oh, at least said Ted. I was like, who's Ted?
And these fucks that are, quote, living.
Yeah. They're done, bro. They're already dead. They're walking dead.
Everyone lives, but everyone lives, though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Jesus said, let the dead mourn the dead. That hit me hard the other day. I was like, wow, bro. Wow. That's crazy. That's crazy.
We're getting to that point.
Because people can't let go. Like we were talking about earlier, they just can't let go.
What I can't even understand is that people don't, they don't have any original thoughts, and the critical thinking and common sense is just, like I said, with the fire sale, it all had to go. Fun has to go, common sense, critical thinking, and they literally just do what they're told. This is how you could say to somebody, well, don't you know breathing your own carbon dioxide is bad. It's going to give you problems and, bacterial infections, all this stuff like that, which we are seeing a rise now in bacterial chest infections, lung infections, these kinds of things, because people are huffing in their own bacteria. Staph infection is on the rise. And of course, they're going to label this some kind of second wave.
I was going to say, they're just going to put the COVID stamp on those people, unfortunately.
Like
just like all the old people in the first wave.
It's like they turned up the mush level for the TV, for your brain, and meltified it even more.
You've seen the Hulu commercials.
Yeah, are just doing what they're told. And those commercials back then, it was like, oh, ha, ha, ha. Yeah, they put a commercial like that out 10 fucking years ago, and look where we're at now.
Literally. I was in 8th grade. I was like 15 years ago. I was like, what the hell is this? You know, this is kind of
We
weird.
should pull up one of those Hulu commercials with Alec Baldwin just to show everybody. This is them. This is them laughing at us and we're thinking that, oh, they're just making a funny commercial about aliens or something. No, this is them fucking saying, ha ha, fuck you people. Oh.
Fuck it. I'm done with these people.
What happened?
I'm just gonna live my life and wait for death.
Sound like me at work today.
I mean, how sad is it that I'm looking forward to death?
Dude, me too.
I'm like,
Me too, bro.
that gets me more excited than waking up tomorrow and going to work.
Because death is life, you know?
Yeah, that's just being born again.
11 years ago, Steve, and the Hollywood sign right in the beginning of it. I'm sending it to you right now. I bet you.
No. I got it right here. No need to send.
Okay. It's the 11-year one?
Way ahead of you. I got you.
Okay, good.
You see that?
No mountain. Look at that. Look where that fucking mountain is. It's way back there.
Yeah, it's not right here. Oh, I'm not even on the right screen. Yeah. Uh-oh. Yeah, it's not right here.
So this is from 11 years ago, guys.
2009. 11 years ago. You like how they play that, right?
9/11.
Hello, Earth. I'm Alec Baldwin, TV star. You know, they say TV will rot your brain. That's absurd. TV only softens the brain like a ripe banana. Take it all the way. We've created Hulu. Hulu beams TV directly to your portable computing devices, giving you more of the cerebral gelatinizing shows you want anytime, anywhere, for free.
I only act out because I want your love. Dynamite!
Mushy mush. And the best part is there's nothing you can do to stop it. I mean, what are you going to do, turn off your TV and your computer? Once your brains are reduced to a cottage cheese-like mush, we'll scoop them out with a melon bowler and gobble them right on up. Oops. I think I'm drooling a little. Because we're aliens. And that's how we roll. Hulu, an evil plot to destroy the world. Enjoy.
So they're telling you right there, but they act like it's, oh, it's an evil plot, blah, blah, blah. You know, it's funny. And the average schmuck, Joe Schmo, will be like, that's just so funny. You know, I can't wait for a movie. Maybe they'll make a movie out of it or something, you know? But yeah, no, they're actually sitting back laughing at us, telling us the truth right there. It rots your consciousness. It doesn't rot your brain. It rots your consciousness. Now, that's an old wives' tale. Oh, TV will rot your brain. These old wives' tales and stuff like this are true. They were there for a reason.
Yeah. People got to take more seriousness when they talk about, you know, myths and legends and whatever, you know, tribal sayings. It's like, hey, you know, that was probably real. Like, no, there was no, you know, Poseidon or whatever, you know, there was no dog-headed dudes walking around 38 feet tall. Like, oh, okay. You keep believing that. They got statues of them, but whatever. Like, they could be petrified for all I know. I don't know. Maybe they were sitting down and the event just beat them. I don't know. I'm like, I've pondered that before too. Like especially the big one. I'm like, who knows, dude? Who knows? Maybe it's a mixture, because maybe there are some petrified giants, but they're not obviously a whole mountain range, where they could be petrified on the mountain for all we know. It's where we see little faces like we just saw on the bridge. Who knows? Who knows? I wouldn't doubt it, you know?
I wouldn't doubt it either. It's just crazy.
I mean, no one knows the day or time that, you know, Christ is going to return. They probably didn't know the day or time that, you know, the dude upstairs is going to melt the grid down or whatever. Yeah.
I'm not sure of anything past 100 years ago at this point, because I can't prove it. It's all hearsay. It's just like fabrication after fabrication. When you go back and you actually,
I don't even trust World War II.
I'm telling you, dude, there's so much sketchy stuff going on, and then with Photoshop and everything like that, treaties being signed, all this different stuff. You know, photos of the treaties being signed between this country and that country, and you know, Hitler and all that stuff like that. It's just And then you find out, well, 6 million Jews died. No, 6 million Jews didn't die. Oh, they said there's a mass grave over here. They dug around, they didn't find nothing. So it's like, what's true and what's not? And how easy would it be to get a collection of people together to say that they went through these trials and tribulations in these Auschwitz camps and stuff like that.
You'll probably get a few thousand, definitely not a few million. There is only 2.8 million Jews living in Europe, according to the 1939 census. So
they're writing the history books and the science books that the governments, and at least in our country, approve for their curriculums. They write the books. They own the publishing companies, and they are the publishing companies. Yeah. And real quick, you said that funny number, 6 billion. What were we just talking about? At 6 million. That's what I thought of. Yes, I was like, why is there 6 million bones under there and 6 million Jews die? It's like, what? That's originally when we first talked.
Check this out. Well, what if they had a technology where they just obliterate 6 million quote unquote Jews and just sent the bodies back to fucking 1784 and just made them deal with it? Maybe it wouldn't affect the timeline in the future.
We see those gold things that those people were holding in those photos and pictures and paintings the other day. What if that's some sort of a time technology thing, or the looking glass technology, or who knows? I mean,
but why Hitler? He was obsessed with the Glocke.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry,
and
we're
I
on a
think
delay.
A lot of that technology.
We're delayed.
Okay.
We're on a delay. You go.
You sound fine to me.
I know, but you're like 5 seconds behind me, so you go.
What the F, bro? I don't even know what I was going to say now. I think Hitler had technology, like the Vimana machines and stuff, the Foo Fighters and everything. And they say he went to India to find his way into Shambhala and find these religious artifacts. Next thing you know, he's flying around in Foo Fighters and stuff.
Imagine that.
I think this is what they went into those buildings for, those mountains out there in Nepal and India and stuff like that, going in and extracting that technology, or at least if they couldn't extract it, figuring it out while they were there and then manufacturing it back, engineering it.
I think it was one of those situations where they showed up with 5 people and left with 6.
Maybe.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the most plausible situation I could think of. I mean, he was obsessed with all that. He had the Vril people on his side, and the Vril was inspired by those Atlantean looking people with blonde hair and blue eyes, about 9.5 feet tall. They're written about all over history. Whether those accounts are true or not, I don't know, but they're there. It's like finding the not the pentagrams, what are they called? The obelisk all over the world, Yeah. I mean, I got a 30-foot one down the street, and I got one in every single cemetery that the eye can find. So you tell me what's going on,
Yeah, but some of that ornate stuff they were holding in those paintings, and the way they were holding them, like as if they were like something very, very important. And they were as ornate as what you see on the tops of these buildings or within these palaces and stuff like that. It could be just a little corner of the room, a nook, but it would be as decked out as whatever they had in their hand and stuff. And so clearly it's not, I don't think it's ornamental. It's definitely a technology of some sort.
Yeah, a lot of the stuff that, we call ordnance on the outside of building, that's definitely part of the old free energy that they used to harness. I mean, we've all seen the pictures of San Francisco in the 1800s lit up.
Yes, exactly, dude. Now look, people are like, well, how could they have gotten that? Because they did not fucking string lights. First off, you would have to have somebody that manufactures that much fucking lights, okay?
Where's the outlet back then?
The brick that this shit was made of, we showed it's a supercapacitor. It holds electricity, okay? The brick itself, the buildings themselves were the free energy mechanisms that they were living within. And then when you're in it, everything works. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, you
hold the light bulb, I mean, that's no problem.
I think people back in the day had some other techniques and different abilities than we had today. I mean, here, let's take a look at some of this real quick. These are just ruins that are found under the water. Location is going to be unknown for most of these, but like Come on. Like, how is that possible?
What is this?
Tell me.
Oh, wow. Yeah, it's
Just
fall.
chilling underwater. No big deal.
Oh,
Look
wow.
at the pillars.
Go
Come
back to
on.
go back to ball. What are you doing? Yeah. There we go.
Yeah, that's real. That's in China somewhere, isn't it, Steve?
I don't know.
Lion Lake or something it's called. Yeah, I looked that up.
Oh,
That's
right
so
there. That's the guy right there. You see him right there? He killed
Where?
Steve Irwin right there.
Oh, this dude. Yeah.
that bad Larry.
Bobby, you're feeling that fireball, aren't you?
That son of a bitch.
I don't think this one.
No, that was like oh, there we go.
Quick.
Look at this, dude. Like it's nothing.
What is it?
I don't know.
It looks like an old.
That's real, dude. I've seen this in all the pictures. This is all a real site.
It looks like an old like. I don't want to say like a, but almost like as if like if this was in the middle of like town square, like you would walk
Yes,
through this to
right.
get somewhere,
Little fountain right here or something.
or a light on top. That's another thing
No.
too. How do these people? I mean, I know how they know, but how do these people know that there was like certain stones were like charged with the electricity that you could use them to get electricity? How then they know what electricity was? I know the answer to this question, but I'm just saying, like, if I'm looking at it from what I've been told from scientists, these people should have no idea any of this thing exists. And why do they build these things in certain ways? Because these things are built in certain ways because they're technology. Like the way this roof is built and these things are built here.
Mm-hmm.
How'd they get underwater?
That they were built
From a
underwater, mind you.
scientific standpoint, I know the answer, but
Yeah.
It's what is
The sea level rose and they were fucked.
this was probably one giant place at one point.
Yeah, you can see it.
Yeah,
This
you
was
can't
one
miss it.
landmass.
You can't
It
miss it.
looks like a puzzle that's missing pieces, but you can tell they go together.
Yeah, and you
Right.
drain that water down, you'll see the rest of it.
Exactly.
The fallen angels provide the knowledge. Yes, that's what I was alluding to.
Look at
Kelly
that.
Jelly's all over it.
Red brick
You can't miss it.
all over the side.
There's the flower.
Right. Like
That guy's everywhere too.
that's
Like,
what
all
we're
over the
drawing.
yeah, there he is again.
That's what we're sculpting in the year before the water came. No big deal.
The sun between the horns suggests a ball worship. Yeah, 1,000%. What the hell are these little pictures?
I don't know. They're on the side of a wall.
In Chinese or something?
I don't.
This
Yeah, dude.
Yo, I don't want to be that guy that's like seems racist, but doesn't this look like the outside of a wall of like if you go past like a Chinese buffet place?
For real, dude.
You know what I'm
For
saying?
real.
Like, oh shit, yo, the Chinese buffet. Like, yeah.
Look at that.
This looks like. Is that real? It looks like people just added bubbles to a picture.
That's what I think. Oh, we're getting out of that.
Yeah, they're saying
Some
that.
other things up here.
What did you post something on Facebook that had something about electricity and like Tesla coils and stuff?
Maybe
That's
not.
you. Was that you?
So I shared this camera.
What?
I don't know.
That one's okay. That's a good one. Now let me go to my hold on. Cause someone posted it and I saw it today and I was just like, yo. That's sick. I was like, I should send it to Steve, and I was like, Steve probably posted it.
What?
Now I gotta find out what group I was in that I saw it from. Oh, the life of a truther.
It's interesting. Look at this. That's nuts.
Oh, these guys in there. Q posts.
Looks
Get me outta
bricky.
here.
It did look bricky. Speaking of Q posts, who's ready for JFK Jr. to come back in 3 days?
I am.
Bring
dude.
it,
Let's
bitch.
go, baby.
Bring it on.
I can't wait to where it doesn't happen. I'm gonna hear what they say.
My luck, it'll happen while I'm like working, and then it'll like
Dang it.
not happen by the time I get home. I'm like, oh yeah, just kidding.
It's gonna happen. I'm gonna be like, son of a bitch.
It'll be like it's like
Right. That's what I'm saying, yo. I'm gonna be like, F these people. Look at that, year old elephant, dude. No big deal.
You say a Euro elephant, dude?
You're old. I'm not.
Oh.
You're good. You're old elephant, dude. Look at this. That's nuts. I don't know where any of this crap is, but it's just nuts. Well, whatever this tablet was had a snake on it, so I'm sure it was good.
It looks like a place you can burn kids.
Yeah.
This looks like a ritual site.
It probably
If I had to guess, like there's no
that's
reason.
a linga in the center there. It's a linga stone, which represents a penis. They pour milk over them.
Oh, okay.
Milk ritual.
The door fit for that person. Like even the steps are made for bigger people. Come on, that's a lunge.
Some big ass steps, dude. I'm 6'2". That's still
a little snake coming off his staff. No big deal. Oh, I guess we're not looking at those anymore.
I wonder why they posted they made that and why we use that as medical stuff today. The snake on the staff.
Yeah, Steve, that's a good one.
That's nuts.
Ricky.
Like, that's insane.
That's beautiful, to be honest with you.
It is. It is. But imagine that like in its heyday. Just like
It's in the
I
clouds.
don't know. It's in the clouds, dude. It's nuts. It's literally nuts.
Damn it.
You got. It was interesting. We were talking about flat Earth a lot earlier. It's like, who's the only one that sticks out? Even the Masons know. NASA,
Yeah.
it's a ball.
Look,
Everyone else.
What gets me is if you look at NASA's cameras for looking at the sun, they show it in space as a flaming ball. Okay.
Babylonian. Look at that.
Right, dude.
See that
That's our little
Babylonian
map.
one? That's our map exactly. 1,000%.
Yeah. How messed up is it that I have the tarot card of Lucifer? Isn't that nuts?
Dude, off topic right quick. New York Post posted a picture of Hunter Biden sleeping with a crack pipe in his mouth.
That's what I like.
I love this whole campaign. Can't wait till it's over so I can stop hearing these stupid ass commercials on my radio.
Oh shoot.
All propaganda.
It's so great. The picture's it's so badly scripted. The picture that it's just like people are like losing their mind. I'm like, you think that's a real picture?
I know, dude. They're so
You
nice.
think he fell asleep with a
pathetic.
crack pipe in his mouth? And then who took the picture? And then who sent it to the New York Post?
Yeah, who took the picture of the fucking thing taken off from the moon, panning up, watching it go?
Oh God, it's so good. Who took the picture of Hunter Biden sleeping with a crack pipe in his mouth, and then who sent it to New York Post, bro? That's all I'm asking. Oh yeah, bro.
Beat that. Nothing new.
Never
under the
you
sun.
mind the man behind the curtain. That's what I feel like when I see stuff like this. I'm like, okay, why is this all the same here? And they're like, well, it's the same thing they tell me about like celebrities, like high class celebrities, like when they do like they put like the lightning bolts and stars. I'm like, are they all just like, did every celebrity just want to be like an astronomer?
They got the memo from Lucifer.
Like,
let's just play pretend world for a minute.
Sure.
Okay. Most of these civilizations, minus America and Nazi, are thousands and thousands of years away from each other. Even if that's standard with the timeline, that's just like even crazier that, you know, it's the same symbol over and over and over again. But obviously, I mean, I would say Egyptian and Rome, that was probably like the same timeline. I would assume, you know, they're probably hanging out with each other, but I don't know. I think Egyptian is just the wrong term to call what was going on over there. You know, I mean, it was in Egypt of all, you know, you can call them Egyptians, but what they actually were, I think were something much different. Because the Romans, the Greeks, the Aztecs, people across the pond knew about. You know what I'm saying? Like where was I? Oh, where was I looking at earlier? I think it was on Twitter. Let's see. We were looking at this the other day, or maybe we were trying to find this and never actually found it. But oh, that's my picture. Nice. Where is it? Blah, blah, blah. Here we go. Arizona.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
That's all I got to say, you know? Arizona.
How about the one that's in China?
Right. But this is further away, Bobby. This is over a pond. Not the pond, the ocean.
Yeah, I mean, I get that, but the one in China actually blows my mind more, only because of the civilizations were so far apart. Like, not even like distance, like years wise, if you want to go with the logic that they tell you. Like, at the height of the Chinese Empire to the height of the Egyptian, you're talking about thousands of years. There should be no reason why now, if Chinese culture was in it, like Egypt, it would make more sense a little bit because that came after. But like the Chinese dynasty was thousands of years before, or at least hundreds of years before the Egyptians were ever a thing. So why would there be an Egyptian statue in the middle of the forest in China?
Is that this thing?
Yeah. Well, is that the thing? No. It's actually like the picture that you showed us before was like in the forest of China.
Oh.
Like covered up by like things. But hold on real quick. Did you see this thing? I just saw this post that apparently a 7 foot tall statue of Medusa holding the severed head of Perseus will be installed in Manhattan across from the City County Criminal Court.
Yes, dude. People are sympathizing all over Facebook and Twitter and Instagram right now for Medusa.
What?
Jen, I can't make these things up.
Dude.
I never knew this before.
Just bring back Bell and start cooking kids in the belly of an iron.
Oh, they might as well. As well.
Steve, I see what you're talking about. So it says here that the 7 foot tall, because that's how tall she probably was, statue of Medusa will be thing. And it says here, I never knew this before, but Medusa was stalked and raped by Poseidon, and then as if these are real fucking people, and then blamed for it and cursed by Athena with the snake hair and turning people to stone thing. She was banished.
Athena was racist. Medusa was really a black chick, and she's getting brutalized by her boyfriend.
Time out. If they're all Greek mythology gods and goddesses, they're not good things, but keep going.
But they have people sympathizing with them. Sympathy is emotional attachment.
Yeah, rape. Yeah. Rape. That's who wouldn't feel bad for a woman who's been raped, right? That's what they're going off of.
Who wouldn't feel bad for kids getting shot up in a school?
Exactly. I just sent it to you, Steve. That way you can get people some reference here. What the hell we're blabbing on about? But it's called the mythproject.com. And myth is spelled kind of weird. It's like MWTH, but the W is kind of shaded, so it's like you can see the V, but it's also a Y there as well. Uh-huh. So apparently there was an exhibition in November 2018. Never heard of it. And then there's going to be another one in October of 2020. Hold on, go back up a little bit.
Pictures?
I can't wait for Christmas, guys. I cannot wait for Christmas. It's going to be war on White Santa.
Check out this narrative of victim shaming in stories of sexual violence echoes through time and into the present day Me Too movement. They're now tying, let me say the sentence correctly. They are now tying together the Me Too movement and Medusa's banishing. They're tying these things together.
Yeah.
And people are
it's ridiculous. It really is. Wait till they start book burning.
The criminal county court. What are we going to be facing here in the future, guys?
The location of high-profile abuse cases, including the recent Harvey Weinstein trial. Oh, so he's Perseus. He's the new Perseus.
Yeah. Medusa's not evil. She was just, she's damaged, and she was, taking her frustration out on people by turning them to stone.
She was stalked and raped by Poseidon. Why? Why? That makes no sense.
Who makes this shit up? Disney?
But seriously, like they're talking about it like the way they wrote it. Like I never knew this before, but did you know Medusa was stalked and raped by Poseidon? I'd be like, who? What are you talking about? You're talking about fictional people. Oh, so now you're telling me Poseidon's real?
And now it flips, and now we're
Now,
the crazy.
now I'm crazy for saying that they're fictional people, and now you're looking at me like, no,
Right.
Medusa was raped by.
You're right. We're crazy for playing the card that they've been playing on us for years. You know, like, oh, what are you gonna do? Stop believing all these fictional characters? But hey, you know, Medusa, high five. Like what? Like let's level for a minute. So what's real and what's not real, people? That's what I was saying before. You know, people got to start taking these whatevers, you know, a lot more seriously, like these myths and legends and whatever.
They're just fallen angels.
Exactly. So in reality, who really, you know, shouldn't be giving our attention to?
Here we go. Here's one way you can tell too, right? Because there are certain gods and goddesses back then that have different names from different cultures, but have the same power set. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Same attributes, yeah.
So it's like Odin, Zeus, yada yada. Like they're all like Mercury, and what's the other guy that's really fast?
Mars is the god of war.
Hermes.
Yeah, Mars, god of war, but then you got Ares, who's the god of war.
Hermes,
Mercury. They're exactly the same person, just from two different cultures.
Horus. All of them.
What about Abaddon, Apollo, Cernunnos,
Hades,
all those
Thanatos.
great people?
Abaddon. Apollo.
The Horn God.
Yeah. Hades.
Good
Thanatos. Well, Thanatos, right? Thanatos is Hades' right-hand man. Thanatos would go out and take the souls to Hades. Grim Reaper. Okay.
I'm sorry, who?
Thanatos.
Who?
Exactly.
So they nice.
Yeah, he had a scythe
Nice.
and black wings, and he flew out and he brought souls to Hades. As that's what his description is. Okay.
Wow, that's so crazy. Because I know if you've seen the not Endgame, but the one before that, Infinity War. You've seen that, right, Bobby?
Yep. Yes.
Yeah. So they kind of flipped the script. They had Hades delivering the bodies to Thanos in that one, because that old creepy guy, that guy was definitely around a lot longer than Thanos. You know, they just kind of they showed you what was happening, but they kind of flipped it so you didn't quite get it. But that's nice. Dantaro, or I don't know how to say that, but sure, yeah, that's so crazy. That's crazy.
So it says
they don't even make these names up. They just pull them off the shelf and just erase a couple letters.
Well, here's the thing.
Nice.
I told you before. I used to play that game. It was called Smite. I think I told you before. And the characters are gods and goddesses, and they have attributes and things like that. And that's how I learned about all these other gods from different cultures. Otherwise, I would just know like your Zeuses and shit. But it says here, Thanatos was the god of a non-violent death. His touch was gentle, likened to of his twin brother Hypnos. Right, so like when he went to go get people, he didn't kill these people. He went out and collected people who were dying. So like when he touched them, they just gently fell, into death, and he took their soul.
Right, the breath would fall.
Right, yeah. Or the Grim Reaper, or whoever. Like they're the same people, just over and over and over and over and over again. Kronos and the other, things like that, and Ra and Set and Horus, and
I'm saying it's like there's just all these stories of the same people over and over and over and over, like Nimrod, Gilgamesh, both giants, both kind of ruled the world for a minute, like that's crazy. And Gilgamesh is what that might even be the oldest thing written down.
Yeah,
that might be the oldest thing.
How Odin, that kind of story is almost close to like Christianity, where Odin would be God, Thor would be Jesus, and Loki would be Satan.
All this happens at Christmas too, with Saturnalia and what's that god's name? I can't think of his name right now. Not like Father Time or Father Christmas, but it was Yule Ties, the Yule god.
Mm-hmm.
Something like that.
Oh, don't forget Hercules too. I forgot to say Hercules. My bad.
I'm going to send you something in just a minute, Steve. It has to do with kind of what we're talking about now, but it seems like there's entities that are becoming physical in our reality. Like, say, Richie from Boston showed that pyramid with the beam of light above it and those things flying around in it. And people are having a lot of sightings lately of things flying around in the sky. Mothman is something that was seen back in the 80s, I think, in a particular town where a bridge collapsed and a bunch of people died. And he's this Mothman has tormented a lot of people over the years, but he seems to be making a comeback of late. And I'm going to send it to you right now, and we can read about it. It was seen at O'Hare Airport. And we can read a little bit about this. Oh, shit. I think I sent it to my husband by accident. There you go. I just sent it to you now. But yeah, it would seem like we're in the time now where demons are becoming, physical, and people are experiencing these strange, what we would call cryptids, even more frequently now.
The veil is thin.
Yes. 7 foot tall, red-eyed creature at O'Hare International Airport.
Yep, that's when I would just run.
That's a demon. That's a fucking demon, dude.
I'll head up with him. Give a shit. I'll be mocking him and shit. No, Mothman.
Mothman. Get him
on, bro. Come down here.
Look at him.
Yeah. He's part of the whole UFOlogy thing, the crypto thing. It's just
scroller. There we go. All right.
Of UFO Clearinghouse.
Nice.
And McMahon worked there.
Yo.
Right.
Says she's seen a 7 foot tall red-eyed creature after leaving work at the United States Postal Service USPS sorting facility in Chicago's O'Hare International Airport. Huh. It's almost a month old. I never even heard this.
Yeah. Yep.
September 24th. Interesting.
At 11 p.m. It's an odd time.
September 11th.
On the 11 on the 24th in September the 9th. Well, 20 to 25 feet from my car, causing it to turn and look at me.
That's nuts. 7 feet tall. Damn. This is a real story. Like, that's nuts.
Yeah, I'm starting to hear more of these stories. Like that guy heard those screams in the sky. It sounded like demons flying around in the sky, screeching and stuff. This Mothman dude supposedly makes some screeching loud noises.
He does, yeah.
Or likes to scare the crap out of you, will like fly within 10 feet of you and then swoop up and take off, kind of like Jeepers Creepers kind of guy.
Well, you know why he's famous, right? Mothman?
Why?
West Virginia.
The bridge.
Yeah, he was photographed sitting on a bridge.
Yeah.
And then like a week later,
it collapsed.
The bridge collapsed.
Killed a bunch of people, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Some people were like, oh, was it Omen? I'm like, nah, it was Taunton.
That's crazy.
This thing was
Dude, look at this.
I
saw that this was not a person, but some red-eyed creature. Like what? Like what?
Well, I can tell you right now, if I see red eyes on something, I'm not going to be like, oh, maybe it was a person.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
Never mind his 10-foot wingspan.
I saw red eyes before at my friend's house, and I was like 13, bruh.
Not a good feeling, huh?
Well, they were like, I say they were Wiccans. They were Wiccan, quote unquote. They were like, they found a book at the library.
Nice.
And so they would try to do these rituals. And they were trying to do this ritual. They got a stray cat from the neighborhood. They were going to kill this cat. And I'm just kind of sitting there like, oh, I thought we were just going to light some candles and pray to the nature. But okay. And then I'm standing there. I'm watching them like try to get this ready. And I look up and I look in the back room and I just see these two red eyes peering at me.
Oh.
And I was like, yeah, I'm out, boys. And I left. That was the first time I saw something like that, and it wasn't that I was scared. It was just like I knew that this thing was pure evil. Like I was like, I'm out.
Right. Like you have fun with that.
Because you don't know, like you kill that cat, being a dumb kid, thinking that you're being cool, doing a ritual. You don't know what you're inviting into you.
Mm-hmm.
That blood hits you. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't know that blood hitting the skin could be like some sort of like doorway for like entities and shit. You know what I mean?
Well, dude, and the thing is, why do they, kids, they have that pure light, like in the grace of God, like he blessed the kids so much, but at the same time, like their spirit, like their discernment guard is down. And even being a teenager, he's still looking after you. But if you do something like that at not the right spiritually mature age, you might not even be able to repent. I know that sounds so effed up, but like I don't know if you'd be able to be fixed from that. That might just be like accepting the mark of the beast between the forehead and not even understanding it because you're 16 killing a cat in a basement with red eyes floating above Bobby. Like I'd freak me out too, bro. That's crazy.
And that's the thing too. Like they didn't tell me. Like they told me that they got into Wiccan or Wicca whatever because like a couple like hot girls from school were talking about it. And I was like, all right, cool. We're gonna go get some babes. All right, I'm down. And then like I get to their house and they got like a pentagram drawn in chalk and candles, and they got this cat in a bag. I'm like, what the hell are we doing? I'm like, oh, we're gonna slaughter this cat. I'm like, what? And they said it so like nonchalantly, like, yeah, we're gonna kill this cat in a ritual. I'm like, excuse me, what are you talking about? And then I saw those red eyes, bro. Like I saw while they were all distracted trying to get this cat to hold still, I looked up in the back room and I just saw the red eyes, and I was like, well, you know what, dude? I was like, oh shit, I got to be home.
That's nuts, dude. That's intense. That's actually intense. Check this. It says there's been 10 sightings coming from the airport itself since August of 2019. This is Chicago. I feel like whatever, I don't know, dude. This may sound outlandish, but like whatever CERN is, I think there's a little one underneath Chicago just making people go nuts because people at CERN, there's claims of like nightmares and what they call sleep paralysis, the dude with the hat. Everyone talks about it there. You know what I'm saying? It's like, what if that's happened to people in Chicago and that's why they're just going nuts and they're okay with having a mayor who is just completely fucked, dude. Like, sorry, look at her, look at it, whatever. You know, it's like Yoda got electrocuted or something. Are you kidding me?
And a lot of not good shit's going on in Chicago. The mayor, first off, talks about the New World Order in one of her interviews.
And they have to pledge to him. Yeah.
She's with a tranny man. I don't even know what that means, okay? Saying it's a woman. And
I don't even know what that means.
Chicago from gunshots and stuff like that. So, I mean, Chicago seems to be a huge ritualistic area. And if they have a CERN device somewhere in and around that area and they're opening up a portal where these things can get through and come out and torment people, I wouldn't be surprised.
That's nuts. Is this what you saw, Bobby?
Yeah.
That's ill.
Something like that, yeah.
Rockford residents report sighting of giant shapeless black thing with. See what that's about. Interesting. How giant are we talking?
Kelly Jelly says, just don't go looking for them. Don't attract those spirits. Sometimes.
I want to say something real quick. People are commenting on my video of my little rant with the masks and stuff. This guy just never wore a mask before the whole COVID thing. He's a neighbor of mine. I drive past there all the time. I've seen him. I've lived here 6 years. Now he's wearing a mask. Okay, granted, I know people go over anthills and there's dust everywhere and it's allergy season. But I'm saying this guy never wore a mask before, and now he's out there on a beautiful day, wearing a mask, mowing his grass.
Such a shame. He's missing all that beautiful air to breathe in.
Mm-hmm.
It's a shame. It's one of the best things about my job. I'm outside all the time, and I can just take in that sun. I can take in the, you know what I mean?
Interesting. Sorry, I was just reading something.
No, this shit is wild.
Yeah, you reading it?
A giant shapeless black thing with 2 red eyes. That's nice.
Like a large bird's cow. Reminds me of the dinosaurs from Jurassic Park, like the velociraptors. Sure.
Oh, there it is. I'm like, that's good ad-libbing. I'm like, that's not on the page. That's crazy. Next day or so, went outside, blah, blah, blah. There were the blackness compared to the tree. Interesting. 9 feet tall. Wingspan of this darkness.
It keeps getting bigger.
What really bothered me was the red eyes and how far apart they were. Nice. Nice.
No, it's oh wow, that's where it was? Wow.
Fuck.
Bro, what do you even
I was
do?
driving home with my friend. Sorry, blah blah blah. Don't tell me this thing is just hanging out by the road somewhere, dude. See, people gotta get rid of this UFO alien crap and replace that with just fallen entities and
Yeah,
demons.
or demons. Yeah, exactly, dude. Exactly.
That's
Yeah,
all it
these
is.
they're just hanging out waiting to fucking terrorize people and stuff. And when these things come upon the earth in full force, well, you read Revelations, you know what they're going to do. Men will
We're gonna
seek
give it a
out
shot.
it.
They're gonna give it a shot, and I think everyone that those spirits take down and damn out of their soul, they're gonna use them as a bid. You know, like, hey, you know, God, like, you know, look at these millions and billions. Who even knows how many people have been deceived over the years? You know, tricked into just living out of the light in the darkness. You know, how many people have been tricked or just fooled or beaten down by the system and have not forcefully fallen away from God, but have done that in their actions throughout life. You know, they're going to use those people's souls as a bidding. Like, you know, we did this to all these people. Let us have this place. And you could have the kingdom of heaven, which is yours. But that's not going to float. I could see that being like something, you know,
Uh-huh.
like after, like, you know, like the big battle and just decimation. I don't know, dude. He's a coward. We all know Satan's a coward, and that's a coward move. Coward move. It is.
Dude,
I can't wait. I can't wait for the 1,000-year reign after.
No, you're so right, dude. He's a pussy. Like, I'm getting tired of this fucking. I'm being real. Like, I'm being real right now. I know he can hear me too. I don't give a shit. Like, this dude is just a pussy.
Yep.
Like, why? Like, he won't stop being like a little punk. Take your ass whooping now. Get it over with. You know you ain't gonna win anyway. Let's just live in peace.
Even if you had cool people like Steve, Bobby, and Jen on your side, you ain't gonna win. Like, damn.
Lucky that I ain't. I'd be like, bro, you know, ain't no way you're winning. I don't even know why you even out here procrastinating and shit.
I know, but it's just like, bring it already. Let's get this shit
Let's
done.
go, bro.
You know
I'm so
what I'm
tired
saying?
talking about it. I'm ready to throw hands.
Yeah, I'm ready to roll. I'm ready to throw
That's what I was saying the
go
other
on the
week.
road.
That's what I was saying the other week. I'm like, whether people understand or believe it or not, but like, Jesus, or whatever you want to call him, you know, the Son of God died, like, technically the Lamb, you know, like in metaphorically, but he's not the Lamb no more. That's over. That happened on the cross. He's a lion now. Get ready for that,
bro.
Get yourselves ready.
Jesus
if you
Christ,
can't get
dude.
others ready, get yourselves ready. That's it.
He's a gangster, bro.
Dude, he's about to. Dude, he dropped the mic the other day.
They told him
he dropped the mic the other day.
They were like, Jesus, just tell us. Just be blunt with us, man. Like, just like, are you the Son of God? He's like, I already told you. And you
right,
didn't believe
dude.
it. So now this is what, for whatever happens here on out, ain't none of my business.
I was reading about the rich young man, and he's like, "Oh, good master, what do I have to do to get eternal life?" And Jesus like, whoa. He's like, good? Question mark. He's like, there's no good. He's like, I'm not good. There's not one good man, not one, but the Father in heaven. I was like, I'm done with this guy. Like in a good way, I was like, yo, this guy's out of his mind. I'm like, he's this Jesus, like Jesus.
Real,
This
got
guy
that
is
mic
saying
on,
this.
bro.
Like, are you kidding me?
That's so gangster to do that shit. Like you got these people like who didn't believe in. They're just like, oh, please, Jesus, just tell us. Like, just be blunt with us. Be frank. Are you the Son of God? My man didn't even give him a yes or no. He just said, I already told y'all, and you didn't believe me. So basically, like in my ad lib way, whatever happens from here on out, ain't none of my business.
What about what was the story where they were trying to tempt him? They're like, oh, is it okay to worship Caesar and worship God? He was just like, I know you're trying to tempt me. He's like, take out a penny. He's like, who's on the penny? He's like, Caesar. He's like, so do things unto Caesar, which you can do, and do things unto God, which you can do unto God. And they were like, oh, what? They couldn't even understand that, because they went out trying to tempt them. They left enlightened. Imagine that.
Bro, how about Lucifer himself, bro? Like, yeah, you want those mountains?
I'm good.
Nah, I'm straight. Thanks, bro.
You sure?
Appreciate
I'm
it.
good.
Like,
right.
It's so crazy, bro.
He said, I'll give you knuckles, but I'm out. Like, no, I got other things. I got a whole mountain of angels upstairs.
Yeah.
I got the right hand of the Father. I got the seat.
If I can quote another line from a verse of an NF song, bro, he says, "People change. Even Satan used to be an angel." That's deep. That's deep. Like that's deep.
That's probably the deepest you can go. And he was upstairs. He wasn't the right hand man.
The
That's why he left. He got
music.
jealous. Exactly.
Which
he was up there, and here we are. And here we are, 2020. Music.
I want to say something, guys. Everybody is exempt from paying taxes. If you check exempt, then you don't file taxes. If you're filing taxes and then you don't pay your taxes, then they're going to come fucking take your bank account and shit like that. You need to get yourself out of that. It's voluntary. It's not a law. It's not mandatory, and it's not required, and it's not a law.
So what do we do in life? Just live a normal, regular life? How do we get here, Sid?
Huh?
I'm just going to comment on this comment.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, you would go in and ask for a 1090 or something like that instead of a W-4. And even if you did get a W-4, you would check exempt. And you wouldn't get federal or state taxes taken out. They'll take out Social Security and Medicaid or Medicare, whatever the thing's called, but you won't have state and federal taxes taken out. Therefore, there's no reason to file taxes. There's nothing to get back. Your money is in there, in your check.
Man, let me tell you something. That's great knowledge, by the way.
Yeah. There's no law saying you have to pay taxes on your personal labors. Only profits and gains for corporations. Now, they've made you a corporation because they gave you a capital name, but that's not you.
He was God's musician. Yeah, he was the minister of music up there. And of course, the one who falls first is the first thing he does is bring music upon the world to control people with.
And he's done a good job of that.
Oh, I mean,
we are.
Not to be like a pun-filled guy, but I mean, he's masterful at it. It's pretty scary. But the whole living like a regular life.
It's pretty scary.
What do you do? No, to the most part, because even though money is the root of all evil, unfortunately, we need
loving. I feel like loving money because you need sometimes.
Yeah,
you need
what I'm saying,
loving money is the root of all evil.
What I'm saying, is the regular life part. Go to work, do what you got to do to survive yourself. Obviously, I'm not afraid of death, but also, I'm not gonna just let myself die because that is a form of suicide, letting yourself die, and things like that. When you have means,
you don't get rewarded for that.
Yeah, I starved myself on purpose. Jesus, why?
He would probably stop time, reverse it, and just make us come back and repeat.
No.
Damn it!
But in the meantime, do your best. Whoever you talk to, even if it's something small, hey, when customers talk to me and they go, "Oh man, I was going to do this, but then this happened, and it was the best thing. It made my day. And I go, hey, God's good. Even something small like that, just do what you can to spread that. You know what I mean? And say those things out loud. Confess with your mouth that Jesus is the Savior. He came down for us all. In that sense, he is the Savior because he was through him we are saved.
Absolutely. I was telling everyone God bless when, see you later, God bless. Everyone's like, what? I'm like, bye.
Well, another fun fact to that whole story is Jesus went in with a whip and turned over the tables of the banksters, the money changers. 3 days later, they hung him on a cross.
Yeah. They were selling in the temple. It's kind of blasphemous.
It's the same banksters back then as they are now, guys.
That's what I tell people. I'm like, imagine this for a minute. I don't care if you believe in this or not, but imagine that the same people that put Jesus on the cross are the same people today.
Yep.
That are just putting us down, oppressing us, making us think that we all hate each other. Yep. And it's crazy because if you do read the Bible, Pontius Pilate, he was like, I find nothing wrong with this dude, but it was the public. It was public persuasion.
Yeah.
Nothing new under the sun. Yep. I have a strange feeling we're all going to have to bear a cross and have brutal things done unto us sooner or later, whether it be, physically or mentally or verbally or just, like that social credit shame system that we were showing about a little while ago, Jen, like, oh, you didn't pay your whatever in time. You're 2 days late on your mortgage. You're on the wall of shame today. You can't have a coffee in public.
So be it.
So be it, dude. I'm cool with that. It's just so crazy where we're headed, but it's like it's exactly what's happened before.
I already like as I'm being marched to the gallows to get my head chopped off, the guillotine and things like that. I already came up like all my walk there. I'm just gonna chant out loud. Jesus is my Savior. He died for me. I'll die for him. That's all I'm going to say over and over again as I walk to get my head chopped off. I'm just telling you the truth. That's why I'm not scared. So are you telling me that you're going to give up your life because Jesus did? Yeah, that's the least I could do.
Absolutely. I'll show these people the way. I'll be the live demonstration.
I mean, like, I'm not going to go out there and like kill myself for Jesus, nothing like that. But like, if it comes between living in the beast system or dying, well, hey. Jesus did it. I can do it too.
See how they're narrowing us down to where we could see that choice is coming. They're narrowing shit down so much and locking shit down so much and taking so much away that before you know it, it's going to come down to a yes or no question.
Well, what did they say? They were saying that during the next lockdown, when it comes, we won't even be safe in our homes. So we have FEMA working their asses off apparently right now to put up more places. I can't remember what the agency is called in England, but they're putting up communities. They're putting up tented communities.
They're called Nightingale hospitals.
Yes, exactly. They're putting them up everywhere. And we just had that dude in the chat saying Northern Ireland's getting locked down on Friday. I didn't know you set a date for lockdown. Yeah, next Friday we'll be, we're locking it back down. Tell your friends. All right, send the birds, send the hawks. That's crazy, That's crazy. They have everyone so just numb-minded and ready for it, It's like, all right, so Friday we're finally locking back down. Because the first time it wasn't like that. It was, hey, we're halting the world today. You're locking down today. It's not like, you got till Friday to get your P's and Q's and your chickens in line because you know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's crazy.
Can you highlight Suso's comment there? Because he has a good question. Reconfiguring this timeline, because we know they added 1,000 years on. That would put Jesus here a lot earlier, not so far back in our past as 2,000 years. Now, like I said, this historical timeline and the debauchery that has taken place through it, we have to reconfigure everything and start trying to figure this out, just like we're trying to figure everything else out. And every time I come upon a new piece to this puzzle, I always try to think, how does that fit in? And I'm not sure how it all fits in right now, but it fits in somewhere. I just don't think it fits in 2,000 years ago. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Definitely. Definitely. I don't know. I feel like there's rules. You know, that the powers that be have to abide by. They can manipulate stuff. They could perhaps take out books. They could perhaps take out, whole chapters, lines, verses. They could.
Well, I've always said that about the Bible. I think they took books out so we don't get the whole message. Now, when you look at the book of Thomas and Enoch, all these other books that they left out, you get a lot more of the picture of things. And so they left things out, so we're only getting parts of the message. And there's a lot that's left out, and it's key components for our connection to the Creator and to this whole story that took place. You don't have the whole story to something. How can you make informed decisions and choices and base your whole belief system only half the story? You know what I'm saying? They had no right to take out books and put in books and decide who put this whole, you know what I mean? If God said, write this down and Jesus said this, you're going to put in every word that Jesus said and not edit it and leave parts out.
Obviously. Yeah. No one's disagreeing with that. I'm just saying that there's, obviously bad people in high places and in places where they clearly shouldn't be, controlling the Christian and Catholic world, or whatever you want to call it, whatever they do in the Vatican. Why they have the authority to take stuff out of the Bible is beyond me. I feel like that should be a community vote among the 2 billion Christians around the world. There's no census for all that. So they do what they do. So that just shows their fruits off grip. But like you said, they take things out. You can't, there's some things you got to find the books that they've taken out. There's some books that you can't find, obviously, that are, hidden down in Cleopatra's library vault out underneath the Vatican. There's things like that we're not going to see, probably never going to see. And I'm okay with that. But the parts that they do give us, for the most part, are pretty golden until the Mandela effect started shifting in with some things. So if you can just take the meat and spit the bones, there should be no problem. But everyone gets lost in the sauce. Like, how about everyone just relax?
And if Jesus was from the previous civilization, Jesus could have been from after the reset, when people were starting to go back out and look around and get civilized again and reestablish. That might have been the time of Jesus, when he was trying to show people a new way of living and being, and not being corrupt and all this stuff. And it was already starting to build back up again. And here comes Jesus trying to shift everybody away from all that and flip over the money changers' tables and stuff. And, show people that let thy mind's eye be single, your body will be full of light, and you can walk on water and heal yourself and everything, all this you will have, it'll be yours. The kingdom of heaven is within you. And they can't have that. They have us thinking of externalization of ourselves. What do we have? What are our possessions is what makes us who we are and how much stuff we have in the world.
Right. If you read the Bible, it's all in there to not do that. Why do you think no one reads the Bible anymore? Because you get made fun of. So
he could have been after the reset. He could have been one of the first people within the first peoples to come out who were starting to, get their bearings and start civilization back up. And maybe that's when his time frame was, within the last, say, 200 to 500 years, and not 2,000 years ago. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I guess. I don't know.
It's hard to say.
Not really, but I'll just roll with it.
Say the reset happened, right? And then you have that period of time where nothing's going on. Everything's got to settle down and cool off or whatever, right? And then you have the period of time where people come back out. They didn't just come right back out and go right into these cities. You had to have people come out, start planting stuff again, get shit kind of moving, organize yourself, then search parties go out and branch out into the plain and see what's left over and start up again. And maybe Jesus was one of those people back then who was trying to show people that, hey, you don't want to go back to what that was before. Look where it got you. Maybe we should try things differently and follow, the path of the righteous and stuff.
I mean, it's plausible. That's plausible. I wouldn't doubt that. I mean, clearly there was events that happened, Sodom and Gomorrah. That was probably a massive reset event, sulfur rained down. You can still find that stuff. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's absolutely crazy. But, what I tell people is don't get lost in the sauce. Just take the good and leave what you. I mean, don't leave what you can't understand. Write that down and save it for a rainy day. But whatever feels not natural, just leave it. And let's say let's say it's something that you do need in the future. Someone will be there to tag it along with you, because that's how it works. Because I'll be working on something and Bobby will message me and I'm like, oh dude, like that fits into exactly what we're doing. That's it's crazy, and that happens all the time. But when I think about it, it's something that I've known this whole time, and just let it sit on the shelf. So people just gotta really just take the meat and spit the bones, and even if there's a little meat left on the bones, don't worry about it, because someone will pick it up for you later.
And one of Jesus's major things was love thy neighbor. Now they have in us fearing our neighbor. And it's like they're reversing everything. They're inverting everything.
Really? I don't know. I listened to a lot of the KJV, and it's
no, I mean, like,
love thy neighbor.
Media has us.
Oh! I was like, I don't know about that.
Jesus says love thy neighbor, right? And they have us now
love thyself, fear thy neighbor.
Yeah.
It's funny. Like, I've just recently started to like interact with my neighbors, and a lot of them are really weird, but like 2 of them are okay. One household I don't understand. There's a Biden sign on one part of the lawn and a Trump sign on the other side. I'm like, you guys are effed. I don't get it. I don't understand.
Everybody likes to have a team to cheer for. It's the Eagles and the Cowboys, the Democrats and the Republicans. It's competition. It's division. It's a schism. It's everything wrapped into one.
Oh, my God. It's crazy.
News on us. It's the same bird. You got the left wing and the left wing and the right wing, but it's still hooked to the same bird.
People don't understand that. People don't get that. They're like, oh, I lean right. I'm like, well, how about you just get off the bird for a minute?
Yeah.
And it's not an eagle. It's not an eagle, unfortunately. It's that phoenix.
That's right.
That's crazy, but I'm gonna wrap this up. Do you have anything else you want to get on real quick? Bobby's computer had to reset. I meant to mention that 5 minutes ago, but
well, I think the phoenix rising from the ashes may be something that's from the last reset, because everything was.
I feel like that's on the horizon.
It was vaporized. Everything was, not say it was turned to ash, but from that reset, they rose up out of it. You know what I'm saying? And they're the controllers of this world.
Yeah. Absolutely. You really got to check out that show, The 100, because that's like literally like one of their main sayings, from the ashes we shall rise. And it has to do with like nuclear shit, because like that's what happens, like obviously, like boom, nuclear heat wave, whatever you call it, the wave of fire that comes from a quote unquote nuclear explosion. And it's not about this, but at one point they have to survive it. And there's these like different, I don't know, it's so weird. It's like I can't explain it. It's just very, very, very strange. And then there's Mount Weather and all this other stuff. Check out that show, The 100. Don't watch the first season, but check out like the end of the second season and everything from there, because the first season is just a little weird, but that's where people get lost. Everyone's like, oh, it's in space. I'm just like, not exactly. If you could just replace space with just like other spaces on Earth, you're good to go.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because they'll be showing land masses that are star forts. You gotta check it out.
Wow. Yeah, I'll have to check that out.
Check it out.
I'll go to season 2 towards the end of the season.
And just keep watching. And I think it's on like I don't know if the 7th season is still going on, but there's 7 seasons now. I thought there was only 6.
Wow.
I was really disappointed. I was like, that's the shittiest ending to a series I've ever seen. But apparently there was a 7th season. I was like, oh. I was like, the door's wide open. I'm like, 2 people just went through a portal. One dude got stabbed. And I'm like, and it just cut to black. I was like, what the fuck? Right. I was like, what a way to end the series. But little did I know, there's a whole nother 7th series. So I'll gotta unplug, I guess, for a little while and check that out, because there's little not even popular. I think it's like a CW show, but like even little shows like that, there's so many just like hidden messages, like subliminals or stuff that could and probably will happen in the future. And it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's just AI heavy. AI is their god. It's crazy.
Yeah.
There's one people, they call themselves the disciples or something. It's nuts, and their leader is the shepherd. It's rather blasphemous in that essence. But if you just like line it up with like what these people are trying to do, because they literally say it, they're like, we're on a goal, and they're like, what's the goal? Transcendence. I'm like, nice. I'm like, okay.
Wow.
It's called The 100. People in the chat, see people asking, but The 100, 100.
Yeah, and skip over the first season because it's all spacey kind of stuff. That's what prevented me from ever going further.
Yeah,
with space crap.
I got someone. My friend actually, she brought it up. She kept hounding me like, "Oh, you gotta check it out." And I watched the trailer. I was like, "Yeah, I don't know." You know what I'm saying? And then I just, one day I sat down. I just blew through the first season in like just one sitting. I was like, "All right." I was like, I mean, like the context is good, but the space just kind of, I just had to just get right through it. And then, I mean, they're in and out of quote unquote space a little bit, but I mean, it's not like a staple to the show. It's not like, Scott Kelly, Space Pride or whatever, there's nothing like that.
I just want to tell everybody real quick, if you want to watch any of these shows for free, go to a site called Prime Wire.
Prime Wire. What?
I think it's .com. Once you type in Prime Wire, one word, you should see watch free movies and TV and all this stuff. You click on that, just type in the search bar whatever you want, and you can watch every episode of every season of anything. It doesn't even matter. It could be Seinfeld from 90s. It doesn't matter. So Prime Wire is a good site to go to. And also a show to check out is called Brave New World. Aldous Huxley's book, Brave New World. They made it a show, and it's very eye-opening. It's almost kind of like Equilibrium in a way. And another one to watch is, what was that other one? Brave New World and Westworld. If anybody hasn't seen Westworld and they want to know what's going on with transhumanism and these robotoids, androids, whatever the hell they are, you got to check out Westworld.
Yeah, definitely. I haven't seen it, but I've seen like parts of it.
My favorite part in that is when he walks into a room, he's getting introduced to the company and they want him to invest, and they invite him to some sort of a restaurant setting up in a skyscraper somewhere, like on the 50th floor or whatever. And he walks in and she's telling him like, well, you tell me who the robot is in here. So he decides to go walking through the room, observing everybody. And then he comes to realize after she does this little motion with her hands that everybody in the room is a robot. They all look just like us, like perfect, like you would not know at all. It's not like the robots from the past or whatever where they're glitchy and stuff. These are actually, real looking people and everything. And I think that these people do walk among us. This technology is already here.
Great skin suits. I feel like a couple of them get on the podium and start flapping their gums and whatever.
Yeah, and then they glitch up on camera and freeze. Well, when they're frozen like that, if you notice, they're not breathing either. You know what I'm saying?
It is crazy. It's crazy, but yeah, for real. You gotta love. It's in real quick. It's just so crazy how people are like, like that's it. That's way in the future. It's like, for real. So why do the transhumanists have their own Bill of Rights? And why do they secretly have their candidate, their founder, their president? I like founded better because they probably found this technology. Why is he always running for president every time there's a whatever? He nearly gets only 5,000-10,000 votes, but still, down the ballot. He's there for you. And they have their own Bill of Rights. And Article 6 states that involuntary aging, that means living as a human being, is classified as a disease and punishable.
Westworld is what they're trying to do. And part of the story you find out, and this is not the old Westworld. This is a new show called Westworld. It's based off of that, yes. But the main point to this story is they're trying to get people to live forever by uploading their consciousness and their memories to this replica android of them.
It's nuts.
Yeah.
It's nuts. But all right, I'm gonna get on out of here, Jen. It was
All
good
right.
having you. It was great having excuse me, it was great having Bobby, but I guess his computer had to restart, so
All right. Well,
all
thank you.
good.
I appreciate you.
Yeah, no problem. I appreciate everyone in the chat. Appreciate you. You know, we've had a lot of shows. We've had so many shows. We've probably had over like 50, 60, 70 hours of shows. I mean, we have 12 hours of shows just of Dante's Inferno. So
Yeah, and we have a few that we've gone well over 4 hours on a few of them.
I think the first time, it might not have been the first time, but I think it was you, me, Brian, and a couple other people joined here and there. But we were live for what? Like, I think like 7.5 or 8 hours once.
Yes, we did.
We lit it up at like 3 or 4 in the afternoon, and we just kept going to like 2 in the morning, 3 in the
There's
morning.
so much to talk about.
It just kept going. Like, I think it was the stream was called like I think it was just I don't even know. I think it's called like the Truths of Reality, and like there's a couple. You know, let's put it that way. You know, the shelf got that. We had to get a new shelf that night.
I gotta say, we make a good team, Steve.
I agree. I agree. And Bobby is awesome in the mix.
Absolutely.
I love
Yeah.
having Ceiling Fan Man on, but he was behind the curtain tonight.
Yeah, it's all good.
He was
Yeah.
hanging out. Oh yeah, yeah. I love his work too, and he just had a new video. So guys, check that out. Check out Jen's new video. She's ranting, she's yelling. It's awesome. You can't beat that. Give it a share. We're gonna get on out of here. God bless.